Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Smudcast number 739. The time Legend of Korra was better than The Last Airbender. Now, this is a funny title for many reasons. One, it's from Hello Future Me, and I don't know if we've ever watched his videos, and everyone who's watched the video, apparently who has left an up or down vote, I'd say about close to 95% have been up votes. So I don't know if that's because the video is good, because they agree with him, or they just like his channel. Off to the side of the YouTube recommends, I see Fixing Legend of Korra by Hello Future Me. And then I see Fixing Korrasami and The End of Korra by Hello Future Me. So apparently, Legend of Korra was better than Last Airbender, but not by much, because there's lots of problems with it. So anyway, this video came out almost 2 years ago and has almost 500,000 views. 500,000 views. So lots of people like this. I don't know. I was listening to you two guys ramble on about how horrible Korra is before we started. So
it's horrible.
I know. People have told me this for years and years. And this is a 20-minute video, or 22-minute video rather, describing how good it is, or how much not just good, but better.
At one point, he claims there's 1 point. I don't believe there is 1 point. Maybe there's something that comes close, but nothing that can be better. The closest thing, the only good thing, because the only truly good thing that you could call good about Korra is the character Varric, the inventor guy, who's a scam artist in the beginning. He's a bit shady. He just wants to make a profit and do his tech. And he's probably the only character who, one, has a character that is consistent and has a character development that is consistent. He doesn't just flip-flop back and forth like other characters who just change based on what the scene needs them to do and think and behave. He's consistent, and in the end, he even has a heroic moment where he does something selfless and endangers himself to save everyone else in a battle. And he does get the girl, his girl, in the end, who's his secretary, whom he just basically uses all the time, just like a piece of furniture. And at the end, he realizes she has the hots for him, had it all the time. That's why she put up with him. And he finally realizes and sees her. And is head over heels. He is the one cool character. I kept watching the show because of Varric. Everything else, I wanted to burn this thing for. Varric helped me get through this thing.
Well, I was reading in the comments that people liked, was it season 3 the most, or hated? I can't remember what it was. They hated or liked season 3 the most.
Liked season 3 the most.
Okay, they hated season 4. Okay, that's probably what it was. All right.
Even though they're just the same thing, you're just being tricked.
Oh, well, I'm sure there's some sort of drama people enjoyed, some sort of comedy that there was there to appreciate. But to say it's better than Last Airbender, that is interesting to see. And I want to see the comparisons he makes, because a lot of people have done that already, and they've shown how much worse it has been. So I want to know what he's talking about.
Oh, God, 22 minutes?
Yeah, I sped it up by 1.25, so we should be okay. Anyway, Let's go.
You read the title right. I'll not stand for a slander. Anyone who says every part of Korra is awful is either lying or trying to sell you something. Speaking of selling you something, this video is sponsored by Campfire. Use my code and link to try the program designed by and for writers and world builders for free. Season 3 of Korra equals and surpasses The Last Airbender at times, with arguably Avatar's best antagonists, fight scenes, and a tightly written story that culminates in a powerful, evocative spectacle of an ending.
The worst of the worst with the shittiest of the shittiest and the most senseless and contradictory of the most senseless and most contradictory. Those villains that he just showed, that's these Red Lotus guys, who have no personality. Their personalities are their powers. That's all it is.
Okay.
Horrible.
Oh, look, it's so cool. You get to see Zahir fly around on invisible puppet strings. Isn't this cool to look at?
Flying, so Aang told us flying doesn't work. You can't do it. And then there's Zahir, who all his life's been trapped in this cell, as if he was a bender. He had no bending powers, but he was the total airbender fanboy, basically. So he was LARPing airbending, I guess.
Because of the portal.
And then because of Korra's spirit bullshit, random people get bending powers, and here gets his airbending powers, and immediately, instantly knows how to use everything perfectly, as if he was a master of doing this since a child, as if he studied this for 50 years, and later on he even learns to fly by himself, because he's just so awesome.
To fly and become Peter Pan.
All right.
The thing that nobody's supposed to figure out, that not even the Avatar could do. See here, the guy who never bended until 2 weeks ago, he can fly. You're right. So, yeah. Totally great writing. I love it. It's amazing. Where's my whiskey?
All right, let's keep going.
I'll ask for a Korra good in the comments. But no story is perfect, and this is all just a fun thought experiment, alright? So we've been rewriting it season by season, and we've already fixed seasons 1 and 2, and
so
normally we'd have these rules, right? But I don't really want to change season 3, it's already amazing. So
this is the problem. This is the problem with fucking fixing something, is if you're not going to change it. This is the same thing that I've seen another YouTube do, and where it's just, I'm going to change itty-bitty pieces of it. But, everything else is cool. That means it's fixing it. You're not fixing it. You're stacking upon. It's like, let's make the Twin Towers. But let's build it on more of it. You know where that's going to lead you. Nothing's getting accomplished. This isn't fixing shit. You're building a fucking goulash soup into the other soup, and now the other soup tastes like shit even more.
Not a goulash and not anything else. It's just
you're just making shit upon shit soup.
So
you just made it work.
The problem is also that these his Power Rangers team, they have all super special bending powers. Like the writers who did Korra, but the original inventor of Avatar, he was not on this team. He was not involved in making this. For him, Avatar was done. Story told. Over. These two were his co-writers, and they then wanted to make their own shit. They love steampunk. That's why Korra is steampunk. Because if they had made their own shit, nobody would have watched it, I'm sure. They made this, they attached it to Avatar so that people would watch it.
If they wanted steampunk.
And the thing is, you don't have the clear bending stuff anymore. Like the air, earth, fire, water. No, everybody now has some cool special bending. Lightning is now everybody can do that. That's how we make electricity for the city. Like we just hire random firebenders who know lightning bend in a closed room.
So
all these 4 guys, they have their special like shooting lasers and doing lava shit. Fuck off.
So is this video just fan fiction? He's just explaining the things. If it was good, it would be like this. Is that what he's trying to say?
Well, if he says it's just he's not gonna enter any fixes here. He's just gonna praise it because he thinks this season is the bestest thing ever.
God.
All right, we'll go for a minute, and if it's just him making shit up, we're gonna stop because this is silly. There's no reason to watch this, but we'll see what he has to say.
Today we're going to talk about what makes this season so great and the 5 minor changes needed to fit it in with how we want.
Wait. So it's great.
So suddenly you need to change anything.
But there's 5 fixes.
Perfect, I thought, what's the point of fixing it if it's perfect already?
And it's
basically perfect except for this.
No. It's not perfect. It's good, but if we make these 5 changes, it'll be better than good, which is, I guess, is great. We're like, wait a second. So it's a passable show. But if they changed 5 things, like God knows the plot, the characters, the comedy, the drama, then yeah, it'll be great. You're like, wait, stop. What are you doing, sir? Why are you fighting on this hill? There's no reason to fight.
It's like I think this is all these people who fell for Korra, whether it's for politics or any other stupid reason.
Oh, really?
they live in that is part of that. But they seem to have some sort of Stockholm syndrome with the show.
It can't be.
It's totally awesome, but we need to change. It's totally perfect. All these critics, they're horrible, but we do need to change about 50 things about it per season.
Yeah, but there can't be that many political themes and ideas that are so compelling to young adults that it's so good. You have to watch Legend of Korra for the political ideology.
Oh, no. It's not for the political ideology. It's that people with a certain sentiment, with a certain political sentiment, will love Korra because it reflects their worldview about certain things. Like how Korra is a Mary Sue. That will appeal to a lot of young girls who fall left-wing because that's encouraged in them. Feel like a Mary Sue, can do everything, nobody's talking back to you, and if they do, they're wrong.
All right. Anyway, let's see where he goes.
Seasons 1 and 2. So, previously on Legend of Korra, after Amon took almost all of her bending away, Korra was left searching for a way to restore her powers. A water tribe civil war forced Korra to look into the past for help and answers, where she saw how people first learned bending from the original benders. Tenzin and his family find a hidden island of non-benders living alongside Sky Bison, and in the final moments of the season, a young child there begins to airbend. Change number 1.
I thought,
wait, change number 1. What is this?
I have a question.
You need
Mike.
to change. Yes.
Yeah. So aside from the whole that's how people got bending, like, this is bullshit. But wasn't Upper the last Sky Bison, or were there others?
Upper was the last Sky Bison, and then that got retconned later on.
Yeah, because like it's only a couple decades since Avatar: The Last Airbender, and there's like dozens. They seem to reproduce pretty quickly.
The fact that this is supposed to be, I believe, a century after Avatar, or almost a century. It's just get the hell out of here. Just all that nice architecture, and then it's just here's a city, here's New York. Don't you like this? Isn't this what you came for?
I like the all Asian world, where you have these 4 Asian thingies going on, and they do the Asian thingy stuff.
It's like
and now we got New York.
It's like if the Fire Nation won in the original series, and you see the Bhumi's kingdom fall, you see the Earth kingdom fall, everything, and we're just, this is it now. Every city is just. What's the name of the city again? Iron City?
Metropolis?
No. What the hell is this thing? But
what do you mean? Oh, you mean the Steel City?
Yeah.
That is these dumb big steel flower things.
It's that thing, but it's just. But it's like,
so
fuck
dumb.
me. You can't. All this shit, right? Where it's just, this is how they actually got bending. This is the amount of fucking Sky Bison afterwards, after Appa's long since passed. Okay, yeah, it's just, I don't think there's minor changes you need to do. I think at that point, it's just scrap the entire thing. Start from scratch. If you're a masochistic bastard, and you really want to fix the show, start from scratch. Let's see how long that goes.
I think, and I do think you could have made another show in the Avatar universe with another Avatar, but you would have to tell a different story, and people like this could never write it.
And because, the first one was, if Avatar we followed in the previous was air, go with the same thing with water, but just, let them have only water for the moment, Not water, fire, earth, and then air is the hardest thing that the main character fucks up at. Air.
Yeah, the one who's born a water with the water tribe has no trouble with fire. Yeah, sure.
But air.
Not even that. They couldn't even get that right. Couldn't even respect that part.
All right. Let's see what he's going to say. If it's controversial, or if it's like, let's rewrite the entire story. It's like, this is getting stupid.
Let's see.
The most important, Zakia keeps the beard. He doesn't shave his head.
What?
I get why they did it. All right,
Because
med
change?
culture, blah.
Wait, what do you mean he keeps the beard? You can't keep the beard.
He can't keep the beard because he's LARPing as an air monk.
You're an air nomad. You don't have a choice, buddy, in whether or not you keep the hairdo or the beard. It all gets shaved off or pissed off. That's the answer.
He's a fucking air monk, fake. What is it? What's
Air
the word
monk.
I was using? Not. Yeah, LARPer, yes, but what's the other thing? Fanboy? He's a fanboy.
Oh, so we're gonna make it even more obvious that he's just a hypocrite. Oh, that's a great way. That's a great way to make it that.
Let's not address anything relevant. Let's talk
right.
about the beard.
This is weird, but okay. Let's keep going.
Blah, blah, blah. But
amazing.
come on, which would you pick for reasons? Zahir and co are easily some of the best villains we've ever had in Avatar. They banter, they're funny, they're really human, and it's so cool to see someone with an amputation in a role.
Oh, it's
really cool to see someone with an amputation.
What?
And she's the villain.
How is
Isn't this representation? Don't you want to be represented
is,
by this?
is
He
there
just likes to see disabled people.
what is his disability? What does he have?
Oh no, that's
This is a girl. She has no arms.
So
and what she does, she is magic. She is now suddenly a waterbender, and she uses fake water arms as whips when she bends.
Okay, so that's why he likes.
That's how she's cool. She's overcoming her disability with an exoskeleton.
Couldn't you
water.
put your arms in water if you had arms? Wouldn't be that the same thing? Like the same idea? You're just augmenting your existing arms with water or whatever.
Yeah, you could probably do that, but it's totally cooler because she doesn't have real arms.
Okay.
Wouldn't you just constantly bend then?
All right, something's going on here. I don't understand, but let's.
He's just a fucking fanboy. With
Like this
fucking
woman,
weird
who
fetishes.
was voiced by the same
Virtual
actress as
signaling.
Azula, by the way. Zahir being in love with Pali is another great touch. You genuinely
No,
feel
it's
kind
not a
of
great touch. It didn't make any fucking sense. It came out of nowhere. She's so this is he.
is
just a-
literally just
She's
combustion.
tall. She's a tall woman with a male frame.
She's
Very
literally a callback. That's only why she's there.
It seems like a one of these office poorly disguised fetishes.
Giant women. And if he wanted the guy to keep the hair, then maybe you don't make him an air nomad, you know?
Yeah.
You know, maybe that's not a good idea to make the guy an air nomad if you want him to keep the cool hairdo. To make him a earthbender villain. I'm pretty sure we probably had that.
All
We
right,
didn't.
Why'd he not cut off his entire hair already and just shortened his beard here anyway?
Anyway, this is a pretty weird line of thinking, but okay. He likes the relationship of the bad guys. Okay.
There is
which
no-
would-
Which
Which doesn't even make sense
It
with-
is, for
with
me,
his
Avatar's one
shit.
true ship. Pelia, or Zapli, I don't know.
No. And ER explained this really, really well, by the way. Because the whole flying thing should only be possible if you would cast away all your earthly, connections?
connections or possession.
Yeah, everything that binds you to this world. So, and since nobody ever achieved that, nobody could learn to fly. But Zahir, who has a relationship with a woman, where he has lust, where he has a want. He has a want. But he somehow, despite having this want, this is super mundane, everyday want of all people, he can fly. The thing that would bind you the most, fuck off. Attachments, thank you, chat.
Anyway, okay, so we're going to keep going for a few more minutes, but if this is going to keep up like this, we're going to stop after 5 because this is dumb. This is already stupid.
This is very dumb.
There's this real look of horror on Zahir's face, one that only would have looked even better if he had a beard. What I love about these
This is so stupid.
If he had a beard.
This is so. He would look better if he had. That's not a problem in the story, you idiot. That has nothing to do with the story outside of he needs to lose the beard to join the organization that he's a part of. This is silly.
Wait, but then it's like, no, but it's even funnier when it's like Tenzin has a mustache and a beard.
Isn't it also so convenient that his team has a bender of every element, and they're all super special benders? Isn't that awesome? Like, so what a coincidence.
Guys, is that they have all of the traits we associate with that of a hero team, right? They work together, they complement each other's strengths, they negate each other's weaknesses, and if you really get...
Yeah, they're the red villain, the blue villain, the green villain, and the other color villain.
Wow.
Those exist. Those exist in video games. It's not just it's not just the Power Rangers who have this whole theme with one of every color or costume or one of every element. This is a standard enemy thing you do in video games and probably also in Sentai shows. Fucking hell.
Down to it, the Red Lotus has some good points to make. You know, not like the murder points, but the other points. They don't feel like robots, but living, breathing humans, unlike Uno in Season 2 or Vatu, who were just evil for the sake of being evil. Amon was also a really human and compelling and threatening villain, but the writing around Zahir in Season 3 is a lot better on average than in Season 1, so it gives Zahir a more potent role overall. One problem with writing villains is, of course, that you can't have them lose too much or they don't feel like a threat anymore. So, I went through the series and I counted. There are roughly 10 fight scenes with Zahir, of which he outright wins 6, even against people like Zuko, you know, the Fire Lord and all that, and he only loses...
Yeah, which makes no sense because he just learned to actually bend last week. And Zuko had the best fire bending trainers available in the Fire Navy. This is bullshit.
Is there
this is a level of bullshit you can't dream up.
Is there a natural aptitude that benders have, like when they're born, they just naturally have abilities that others have to train through?
No, you have to actually learn to use this.
Right.
It doesn't accidentally happen by moving your arms.
So
it's not that type. It's not that type of magic.
This is like comparing the first 3 movies of Star Wars to like the last 3 movies of Star Wars, pretty much.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I gotcha.
And the times that he does lose, he was nearly always in control of the scene anyway, like he tactically retreats. The exception to this is him versus Tenzin, a fully trained airbender, and him versus Korra in the Avatar state, which, you know, fair. I think if I went up against Korra in the Avatar state, I wouldn't do much better. Narratively, the Red Lotus repeatedly demonstrates how capable they are by besting all of our main characters at least once, and they're not just beating up, say, faceless goons. That's kind of a cheap way to demonstrate how dangerous your villain
They are faceless goons.
is. This is one reason why Azula always felt more like a threat than Zuko. You know, she repeatedly demonstrated herself against the hero.
She had an actual backstory. She had an actual character. She was actually crazy. She had ambition. Zahir's friends are just there to fill gaps so that he has friends. And they have designs to them, but they're not fully fledged characters. You can't make me believe that. You're mistaking your own headcanon, filling all of that out because you find it so awesome. You're blinded by the superficial presentation that you believe they have fully fleshed characters. I don't think you know what a fully fleshed character is.
To be their equal or even more competent. Now, do I need to mention how Season 3 has easily several of the best fight scenes, not just in Korra, but in Avatar as a whole? Tenzin vs. Zahir.
The choreography in Korra was less than in Avatar. Tenzin's fight, that thing was kind of good. Where he fought on top of the buildings. That looked okay. Overall, however, the choreography in Aang was better. There's no question about that. You just have more explosions here. But you're American, you like explosions. It just works. Hollywood has figured that out.
Is only surpassed in my opinion by the Agni Kai because there's so much more between Zuko and Azula, you know, in this emotional, relational way. The fight between Korra and Zahir in the finale is, and here's what's really cool, designed to be a mirror of the Aang vs. Ozai fight in The Last Airbender. It's got these huge pillars of stone with an airbender flee.
Oh, you mean it's ripped off?
I don't understand this.
What it more like seems like.
Yeah, this is like arguing, episode 7 in Star Wars is like episode whatever, and the one that JJ ripped off. You're like, is this a good thing, or is it like, I get homages to things that you are inspired by and things that represent the general quality. That's why he did the thing he did. But that doesn't mean it's good, let alone better. That just means he was inspired by it. You can get, oh, look at this shot. This reminds me of the old thing, which was actually good. This is not something to be proud of. This is not something to be like, oh, look, it looks like another thing. It's like, so what? Is it any good? I can model a dessert off a famous chef, but I don't know how to cook or bake. It's going to be crap.
Being the embodiment of rage. The parallels contrast their characters, Aang and Korra, and it, better than any other moment in the series, exemplifies how determined and unshakable Korra is.
That makes no logical sense. Look at how angry they are, just like in the previous show. That shows how good and angry Korra is. Like, no, that just means it's a mirror, or you see a mirror, or it's reminiscent of that thing.
Aang always tried to keep his anger down, because that's what all his training was about as an air gnome. Keep your emotions in check.
Weird.
Korra is just a narcissistic brat. She doesn't do any of that.
This is getting silly. It's good because they did it before. It's like, what? Only worse. It's like, what?
It's good because it's a new thing. It's good because it's different. It's good because it's like the old thing.
She, at this point, is dying. There is mercury...
And she didn't. And we all hate her for it.
Wait,
she has some of the most powerful...
She has mercury in her blood?
Yes.
That should not be a thing.
That is like, you're going to die very, very quickly. You're going to have this sharp pain in your chest, and then you're going to feel nothing. You're going to fall asleep, and then you're going to die an hour later. It's not...
She survived. She was just tired.
Mercury
and then she was in a wheelchair. And she was sad.
Holy shit. Even a little bit of that stuff will kill you. Oh my god.
Benders ever seen fighting her, and she still manages to best all of them. She will give up her life, but she will never give up letting the bad guy win. Across the series, we see how she learns to direct her anger, her self-righteousness, her power, which have been occasionally flaws in the past, into real strengths that come out in these moments. I think that it and she and the series is a complicated mess, and I love it.
Was there, just a quick reminder, was there fire-bending rocket packs in Avatar, in Aang? In the Last Airbender, Mike?
Which thing?
Was firebending used as jetpacks? Because, well, there was the fight with Ozai at the end, but I don't remember how it actually worked.
With Ozai, it was just him propelling himself. But as a jetpack fully, no.
Okay. Well, he's saying this is a mess, and he loves it. This is like saying, oh, the first month of Cyberpunk was amazing because it was such a mess. You're like,
Oh yeah, Crash is another.
I think with mess he just means that there's so much going on.
Oh yeah,
so many different things going. That's what he means.
There's so much action
in a positive way.
That's like episode 9, the first 20 minutes with the jumping between worlds or whatever bullshit that was. Like, oh, there's so much happening so quickly. It's like I can't follow it. Nothing's making sense.
No, you could follow the action. That was okay. That was okay. So from a visual point of view, that was done okay. No complaining.
One thing that people seem to complain about is that Korra doesn't grow, she doesn't change or learn, and that's just not true, not at all. Across season 3, we see her learning self-control and learning.
She should have learned that as a child when all the teachers of all the world came to her in her Oedipal Mary Sue fortress on the South Pole.
She yelled at Katara during her crippled arc in the 4th book. I don't think that's exactly growing there.
She is 20 and she still hasn't learned self-control. Fuck this bitch. And because she hasn't learned that, because she's never been humbled in her entire life, where all the masters, the philosophers, everyone is brought to her. She doesn't have to go on the bloody journey that every other avatar has to go on. Everybody comes to her. She gets handed that. She gets handed all the greatest people in the world to teach her. And nothing went through her thick bonehead. And that is why she's such a failure that she managed to get all the previous avatars destroyed. All of them to the beginning of time. She caused an avatar genocide because of her stupidity and immaturity and everything else negative that you can come up with. Learning this at this age.
We see her recognize her flaws and learn to rely more on others, not do everything on her own by herself. We also see her refine her strengths. Raw power rarely gets her anywhere in this season. She has to learn to trust and stop thinking in ways that once upon a time meant people like Amon outsmarted her. She recklessly, if you'll remember, challenged Amon to a fight one-on-one the moment she could, basically in Season 1. That's the sort of person she was at the beginning. But here, we see she waits.
Yeah, and technically that you could have written it like that in some way with the whole White Lotus instead of out of this fear that the avatar gets lost again for another 100 years. We now go full Oedipal, lock away the avatar in a fortress and bring everyone to the avatar, and that's somehow why she turned up a complete narcissist in her 20s. You could have run with that. But you didn't even understand what you were writing, and I mean the authors of this crap, they didn't even understand what they were doing. And that's why they didn't write a proper humbling story for her that made sense, where that happened at the right times. That should have been Season 1. She comes into contact with the real world, and her fullness of herself is what fucks everything up. That's where she should have learned that, not in Season 3, up with the third villain. What the fuck?
Before to face Zahir. And all of this change, I think, is really facilitated by these fantastic antagonists who prompt her to think and consider herself. Change number 2, Korra Asami. Nickelodeon were naturally terrified of letting Korra and Asami get together on screen, because it would immediately turn every single child who watched the show into a lesbian.
No, that is completely wrong. There was no intention to write them as such at all. It's only that at the very end, when they held hands in the last episode, the authors decided to just, hey, let's do the funny thing and do the fanship, do what the fanshippers want, and put them together.
Yeah, let's have her date Mako's ex, after she was his ex, and now it's just, what a great look.
It's just a promiscuous fucking around.
Korra has banged all of her friends there. Not one person has escaped that triad.
Yeah. She's that girl that comes into a friendship, into an already established social group, and wrecks it. Because she's messing around with everyone. She's that girl. So yeah, good on that part. She is an actual narcissist. Great. She's incapable of forming lasting emotional bonds. She has no actual empathy. Yeah, good. Fuck, works. But you know why they wrote it like that? Because the authors themselves are like that. They can't write anything different because they themselves are incapable of these things, or they would have written it differently. I always see this when these kinds of people are actual writers in things, or when it's just a fan fiction. They are incapable of writing actual friendships, actual relationships, because they themselves are incapable of it. Because how are you supposed to write something that you don't understand yourself?
All right.
We're going to... Season 3 is going to be a lot more Korra and Asami centric. Now, in our rewrite, she was originally an equalist before turning to help keep the peace in Republic City. So at this point, she and Korra respect each other, but it's more of an alliance than a friendship. So this season, we want that to be Korra and Asami becoming real friends. Korra is allowed back into Republic City, just like she is in episode 1, to fix the spirit vines. And we're gonna see Asami admire Korra as she helps the spirits resettle in a new location outside the city with the promise that they will plant a spirit tree in a grove in the middle of the city park. They'll take care of it, a pact similar to the one that she saw with the Southern Water Tribe last season. And as they look out over the spirit's new home, Korra will say something like, everyone keeps telling me that the Avatar needs to be this or can't be that, but I think this is what I was meant to be.
That glider also magically appears and disappears, doesn't it?
Like, go
She
back.
has no means of carrying it in any other way or can fold it up further.
All right, she just used the one glider when she could just use a little tornado, I guess.
Okay.
She could have developed a jetpack earlier, since she's so good with firebending.
Asami says, it's beautiful, and most of the world just sees it as inconvenient, you know? I heard some spirits have taken up living in the catacombs under Ba Sing Se. But, I suppose this is us.
Get your
We both have
fanfiction
places to go.
out!
Korra says, yeah, I do, but we can take a moment longer. When she's frustrated, she's gonna turn more and more to Asami, this other person who has so much anger and rage at trying to find their place in the world and trying to help, but not necessarily knowing how to, right? And so she's going to find that empathy in this person she didn't necessarily expect. And we actually see her turning more to Asami in the season anyway. You know, there's this episode where they're trapped in the desert, and it's gonna be a bonding moment where they learn to really rely and trust and rely on each other.
But wasn't trusting.
Rely and
Korra in
trust
the
and
first
rely,
place.
okay?
Wasn't trusting Korra in the first place that got them crash landing in the desert in the first place. Yeah.
The world would be better without her.
Good.
And admiration and into mutual respect, and that into friendship, before Korra realizes that, you know what, she's kinda hot too. Just a little moment, here or there, you know, with a dash of flirting. At the end of the series, when Zahir demands Korra turn herself over to the Anomads, everyone is gonna be like, no, Korra, you can't do that, except Asami. And with Tenzin captured, and with Marco and Bolin not really listening to her, she's gonna confide in Asami again. I don't really know what Zahir wants to do to me, but I can't keep running away just because other people are scared. I won't. And Asami says, I know you have to do this for yourself, and I know how strong you are too. I've fought you. Do it. You'll find a way out. So that's really the crux of this arc. We gotta show 1, mutual respect when they're dealing with spirit stuff in Republic City, 2, show they can trust and rely on each other in the desert, and 3, show
Wait a minute. Basically, he's admitting that the whole shipping setup is missing. He wouldn't need to change this if this was actually intended from the beginning. You're admitting that the writers made it up at the end.
Korra can be to fears and hopes at the end of the series, plus a dash of flirting, as I said. They're not falling in love yet, but they are going to come out of this trusting each other as friends. It's that story of...
That's what? How would you come to that conclusion logically? They're not falling in love yet, but they're going to trust each other as friends and then start flirting? Why? Why would you do... I'm not sure this guy understands how flirting works, but apparently lesbians have no problem turning it on and off whenever they want.
No, I remember.
They're all psychopaths.
No, it's smart. I remember.
That would explain the extreme levels of domestic violence in lesbian relationships.
I remember when Korra walked up to Asami, that one episode in Korra, and she said, "You look like a cut of fuckable meat," and then they just the first ever F-bomb on kids' television. Nobody questions it. I'm sure that will get rating.
Okay, well, I'm quite sure if they wanted romance, they would have written romance, because they have romance throughout the story.
There are people who say the romance in Korra is better than Avatar. You go, no. The Korrasami is more mature than the one in Avatar.
Anything in Avatar is more mature, even though it's innocent children that are just in their teens.
People with very different backgrounds, both seeing issues in the world, wanting to help, but having to learn how to help. That's a very different thing. You know, where Asami is emotionally insecure, Korra is very sure of herself, and where Korra is very often impulsive, Asami is a lot more cautious.
Korra is not just sure of herself, she is unbelievably arrogant. She is proud. And her fall takes way too long.
Tending to head. We're going to see them complement each other's strengths and negate each other's flaws, which is what we see in the villains as well. And these are going to naturally come out in the story beats that are already in the series. Change number 3, new airbenders. So
wait a second, this is not even in the show. He's just making shit up. This is...
It's the best this season. That's better than Avatar The Last Airbender. But here we need to rewrite everything.
Rewrite everything.
Let's do... You know, this is like me saying, I'm going to rewrite the episode 4 of Star Wars, only it's going to be awesomer, and I'm going to make lots of fun stuff. It's going to be so cool. like, you guys will love it. We'll have like dual bladed lightsabers. We'll have all this, like, we'll have lightsaber tridents. We'll have force powers. It allows you to teleport. I'll just make shit up. And like, why? Why would you do that? What's the point of making stuff more of something you like? Make it better. If you're missing the point of the theme and the story and the characterization of whomever, this is not how you make something better. He's just saying, well, it would be better if this happened. It's like, how? How is that? How would that be better, and how would that be good as an element of the story, like romance or plot development or whatever mystery they're trying to solve? This is, I'm not even sure this is fan fiction. This is just a bunch of kids, scribbling stuff down. Oh, I like ice cream. What if it was like bubblegum, chocolate chip, mint? Like I love all these flavors. Put them all. It's like, you could try and make that ice cream flavor, and it would taste horrible. But
Smurf ice. But
they're thinking about it, and it's all this theoretical mumbo jumbo. If they actually wrote this plot out in like fanfic.net, it would be garbage. It would be trash. Now, would it be better than what they were given? I don't know, but
In our rewrite, Season 3 starts in virtually the same place, practically. The Southern Spirit Portal has opened, the spirits are moving into the physical mortal world, and new airbenders have appeared. The only difference is the reason. It's still a magical moment in its own right, but it doesn't come from the vague, magical space kite energy from space with planets. It's because Tenzin finds this group of people, who we're going to call the Bison Nation, who have been living amongst Sky Bison, kind of learning their own spiritual and philosophical ways.
Which were extinct.
But where did they come from?
They were extinct.
So he wants to...
But the Avatar world doesn't have a lot of landmarks. It's difficult to actually still have some secret places there that are like city-sized, that nobody ever comes across.
So he wants to bring back the Sky Bison and make them have a plot?
No, he doesn't even question why the Sky Bison are back. He doesn't even notice that they shouldn't be there. He's that dull.
All right.
Generations. This is actually kind of drawn from Season 2, where we find this isolated tribe of people who are super spiritual living along Sky Bison, and we're taking that and just changing a little bit. It's not just genetics, and I think it reflects the deeper themes of the show.
Okay, this is dumb. I'm stopping right now. He's just reinventing it to make it what he wants. Not necessarily better, or he's not admitting a problem and then solving a problem. He's just saying, well, it could be genetics, it could be lifestyle, it could be space beams.
But smart. He said it's the best this season. It's even better than the original show. It's practically perfect. It just needs to be totally changed and rewritten.
This is so stupid.
It's totally perfect.
Just say it's bad. Here's why it's bad. Let me fix it. That's all you gotta do.
Let's put them on.
No, it's awesome. Let me fix it.
Let's put them in.
All those critics are wrong. Let me fix it.
All right. Let's see what we got for stream memes, because this is done. This is so silly.
You want to do a double feature, Smud?
Do you guys really want to cover that other video with what was it? Cyberpunk, I think.
Sure.
You guys really want to do that? We can do that one.
Let's do that one. Yeah, double feature. First ever Smudcast double feature.
So do we take a break and do those memes first, so that they are at the same spot?
Sure. Doing the
okay.
mission.
Let's do some memes, and then we'll get that. Okay. What do we got? These are really tiny memes, guys, but okay. Earth, air, earth, water, heart. Don't even think about it. They're shiny enough? What?
Oh, that's Zuko. He's the fire guy.
Oh no, they're all Captain Planet. They're all Planeteers.
Yeah.
Right.
Break quickly. Break their fingers.
Yeah. Whedon-esque dialogue at its finest. 4 Asian thingies doing their Asian thingies. Oh my god.
2 years ago, I had watched all of Buffy and Angel. It was horrible.
Yeah, well. All right. At last.
I think it damaged me.
Who the heck writes these frickin' giant images with tiny font? At last, I have
severed all earthly ties. My airbending. Wait, hold on.
All right.
Increase my airbending prowess grows evermore. Soon the avatar will took away your bending. Lol. Whoosh.
All right. Here we have PR seasons that have avatar powers. Interesting.
Power Ranger season.
Cool.
Awesome.
Celine Dion.
Music Store cardboard cutout if you couldn't tell. Really? Writers, character, audience. Writers, behold, a fully realized character. Oh.
I'd like to call my meme "Commit to the bit or eat shit," because it's clearly Korra's eating shit here, as you can see. Because it's like, hey, here's this art style change, and then an Avatar, hey, here's a complete art style change. No punches hold here.
All right. Here we have should have died there. Bizarro Tom? Smud, Squall survived getting an ice shard stabbed through him. Korra will be fine. Shame on you for doubting her, you sexist.
Oh, sure. Squall totally survived the ice shard.
Yeah, I still don't understand how that worked.
No,
And falling off while that ice shard is in him.
I don't even think about Final Fantasy VIII to keep my sanity, so that's good. Nickelodeon was afraid of having the kids who watched the show into turning into lesbians. Yeah, that was a weird statement.
And then why do they okay the other stuff in later shows? Huh?
What a cute kid on the left, and what the hell is that the same? I hope it's not the same.
No, that's some
I think it's just
monster.
a bit.
Yeah, cosplay by real life Rizion and Rach Asakawa, who are wives in real life. And fun fact, okay. Me, Smud, Wisp, say what you will about Korrasami, but you gotta admit the cosplay fan art is hot.
I feel nothing here. This is not hot. This is fucking cold, to be honest.
They have fun doing that, but they're doing bullshit. That is a dumb story.
All right, our last one. These dudes are the Bison Nation. Okay, that's kind of cool. Looks like a Warcraft 3 DLC or something.
That's World of Warcraft.
Oh, really? Okay, close enough. All right.
It's a Tauren druid.
Oh, cool stuff. Okay.
With an axe.
All right. Well, let's start up another video, and
Also, it's a shaman. Okay.
Let me just load it up here. All right.
Don't make a name for yourself as a cyberpunk by how you live. Make a name by how you die.
Cyberpunk Edgerunners is a show that fundamentally understands what a capitalist dystopia does to change the lives of the people who live in it. This
And we're on the new train, boys. A new train.
I haven't watched Edgerunners. I've been told to. It's pretty good, apparently, but
it's okay. It's pretty okay.
I wouldn't say the world of Cyberpunk as created by what's his name, Maximum Mike, the guy who created the pen and paper game. I don't think his focus was capitalism run amok. That's
no, it's corporatism.
Oh, that's very different.
But hey, commies don't know the difference.
Oh, really? Are we listening to a communist? I don't know. I have no idea.
Usually they don't understand the difference. They just think everything that's to do with people making money is capitalism. Like we trading things and we both thinking it's a good trade. That's capitalism.
All right, because if you read any or know anything about the cyberpunk genre, that is kind of like saying Star Trek is all about exploration. It's like, well, that's the idea behind Star Trek, but the actual story is about very specific conflict of man versus machine or man versus man, or God knows, there's all kinds of aliens running around doing crazy stuff. So no, it's not just exploration. Exploration gets you in the door, and then the setting is its own thing. So no, cyberpunk is not just
cyberpunk in general. It tends to have mega corporations, but you can also make cyberpunk settings without mega corporations.
Yeah, I mean, let's go back to the original, like Neuromancer, Snow Crash, like which I don't know, whatever favorite.
Well, with
book you like?
Neuromancer, you technically had a mega corporation because how else would you build a beanstalk?
Oh yeah, but that's like one comment on one chapter where all the other chapters, like we're in space, we're in the nets, we're buying a weapon, like everything's happening, and there's so much to do and listen to and read about. I would never reduce the genre to capitalism run amok.
Yeah, and I with Neuromancer, I do not remember it specifically going into the nature of mega corporations. They're just there.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in a cyberpunk genre. It's never just there's businesses.
And with Edge Runners focusing on the main city of the game, the role playing game, makes perfect sense. Why would you make your first show, your first story in this cyberpunk universe that coined the term for at least games? Because William Gibson's novel is much older. Why would you play that in some remote village in Meadowy Hills? That would make no sense. Anime does that once in a while, but then they're not doing the cyberpunk game or the cyberpunk game.
Yeah, so this is what I'm concerned about. Is she talking about Cyberpunk the game, Cyberpunk the pen and paper games? Cyberpunk.
She speaks specifically about Edge Runners.
Okay.
She probably doesn't know any other cyberpunk.
All right.
These people only ever know what's currently popular, what's currently coming out.
Okay.
If you brought out The Godfather now, then they would know it. But they don't know The Godfather because it's old.
This one frames up the entire plot, conflict, and tragic resolution of the narrative. In Cyberpunk Edge Runners,
wait, let's rewind that.
Capitalist dystopia does to change the lives of the people who live in it. This one phrase sums up the entire plot, conflict, and tragic resolution of the...
No, it doesn't. You child, where are you getting this logic? How are you reducing the show, not the genre, the show, to capitalist run amok or whatever she said, to then say it is now fleshing out these three things?
Oh no, I have to pay the bills. That's capitalism has run amok.
And that encapsulates everything about the show. I'm like, I'm sorry. If you know anything about the birth of nations or how markets work, then no, you've missed the point.
The setup of the story is that the guy who's not basically, you could, if you translated this whole thing to a fantasy or any medieval setting, it would be the kid who is talented but not highborn, has his early education financed by his mother, who's pulling strings as much as she can to get him the education that he deserves, that she knows he can do, and is working her ass off to finance that. And then she dies tragically, and he falls out of that. That is an ancient story. You can play that without capitalism. You can play that without science fiction. You can play that in any era of you.
Okay. Narrative. In Cyberpunk Edge Runners, hypercapitalism creates what feels like an inescapable...
So now it's hypercapitalism. Is that...
I thought it was capitalism. Where's
No, hyper. Hyper.
But then it's not
Okay, whatever. Changing the word around. Okay.
Narrative of suffering, survival, and suicide, one that is ultimately, if narrowly, defeated by a dream beyond Night City. Created by Raphael Yaki and gorgeously animated by Studio Trigger,
you know how you realize that dream? By making a ton of money and buying a ticket. To then sit on the moon. The boring moon. What? I have forgotten what the girl's gonna do once she's on the moon. Anyway,
she's stuck there.
She's just there. Probably get a normal job, which she could have have had in that stupid city as well.
Runners rightfully blew everyone away in 2022. The show almost single-handedly saved the Cyberpunk 2077 video game after CD Projekt Red's disastrous and buggy initial launch was met with criticism, and it renewed interest in the pen and paper tabletop RPG created by Maximum Mike Pondsmith that the game and the show were both based on. There are many running themes in the story of Cyberpunk Edgerunners, most notably the theme of corporate capitalism and how it divides and...
So corporatism.
Corporate capitalism. Dude, that's, okay, I will we have to explain one thing, that is the difference between a company and a corporation. A corporation has ties to the state. That means it's not operating wholly independent. If you say these are corporations, that means the state controls them. That means it's socialism. Socialists, when they're not openly controlling the government, tend to call this state capitalism. Then once they are in power, they want control over all the companies and turn them into corporations. Because corpus, that's the body, and it's supposed to be part of the state, part of the body of the state. They're supposed to be organs that the state directs. So, please tell me, is this capitalism? Because then all of these things would be companies, or is this socialism? Then all of these are corporations. When it's a mega corporation, that means it's a corporation that has a nigh inescapable control over people because they are dependent on it, because it's probably a quasi-monopoly or full monopoly, and it is controlled by the state, which means the state has direct control over all those people through this corporation. What is it? What is it? She's not going to tell us because she doesn't know the difference.
Well, she's using at least 3 new words now. So capitalism run amok, corporate capitalism, and
hypercapitalism.
And hypercapitalism.
I have never gotten the definition of hypercapitalism.
Yeah, just give me the one word that encompasses what you're trying to say, and let's stick with it, as opposed to just keep ramming off words that mean different things. That would be nice.
Conquers to people, but individuals themselves, physically, socially, and spiritually. The more classic...
Whoa, slow down here. Physically, socially, and spiritually. Can you measure this?
You can slow down the speed of the video.
I'm going to have to.
We're still on speed.
Oh, right. I was like, what is she talking about spiritually? Let's try this again. All right.
It renewed interest in the pen and paper tabletop RPG created by Maximum Mike Pondsmith that the game and the show were both based on. There are many running themes in the story of Cyberpunk Edgerunners, most notably the theme of corporate capitalism and how it divides and conquers not only groups of people, but individuals themselves, physically...
Wait. It divides groups of people and individuals. I'm like, aren't groups of people made of individuals? Like, what are you talking about? Relationships between groups? Or individuals in the... Like, this is getting stupid.
It divides people. If it divides individual, what she means is it's pushing people apart and thus controlling them. What it sounds like is that it takes people apart by taking their arms and legs.
She means literally.
Which could be the hypercapitalism speaking.
Forget the
But then
metaphor.
again, that's what communist China is doing, because in communist China, not even your organs are your own.
Okay.
The state decides that for the greater good, your organs need to be harvested. You will disappear.
Let's never mind the. She's saying stuff in 2 extremes I don't think are different, or she doesn't even understand what she's saying.
It's that.
I hope it means literally, like,
she means
dividing people.
There's what the words she's actually using don't make sense, but we can guess from colloquial misuse of these words what she kind of intends to say.
I hope so. Okay.
Socially and spiritually. The more...
How does a corporation divide your spirit? I want to know what that...
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It makes no sense.
Classic themes of young love, friendship, and coming of age are present in the story, but in subdued and sometimes aborted ways because it's all washed out in Night City's irradiated neon glare.
Wait, stop. How
No,
does
it's
Aborted
not.
ways of wash.
how does it
No, it's not washed out. It's the ever-present theme of the story.
Can you when I read a book, when I watch a movie, I'm very well aware of the theme and the conflict and the plot. I'm not like, oh, the music is so good, I forgot what I just heard and what the character is going through and why he's fighting. Like that doesn't happen to me. I don't get blinded by the flashing lights and go, wow, lightsabers.
The setting isn't. Yeah, and the setting isn't the plot. The plot is the interactions between the people, between the characters. Their relationships. That is the plot.
This is never, if this ever happens to you, if you are like paying attention to a book or a movie or someone talking to you and you totally forgot what they were saying or what the movie was saying, then stop and rewatch it because you're obviously not paying attention or the movie sucks because they didn't explain it clearly. This does not happen. This does not happen in books. If you're reading the book, you're absorbing the material. If you're watching the movie, you're listening, you're watching it. It's natural. Another stimulus does not suddenly erase what you just learned. Like, oh, she's so beautiful, I forgot everything I was listening to. This is stupid. Anyway.
If you strip away the science fiction elements and replace them with something equivalent, then maybe aside from the super tank mecha suit at the end, you could play the exact same plot in ancient Rome or Greece.
Yes, I agree. There's no the setting could be anything, the tech could be anything, the themes could be identical. It will still work in a different setting. This is totally normal. No one is being Studio Trigger is so good. I forgot about the characterizations. Like, no, I'm sorry.
It is that tragically alters, destroys, and devours the life of the story's protagonist, David Martinez, and nearly does the same to the story's heroine, Lucy. And it's impossible to tell the story of Edgerunners without discussing the primary character of the series, Night City itself.
No, it's not the main character.
Oh, the music! Taco music for copyright!
Yeah, pretty
Okay, I'll
much.
get my...
Pretty much.
All right,
copyright.
I'll get the glass. Fuck this shit.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Anyway,
Hold on, let me
I like describing setting as character. That's an interesting way of approaching analysis of setting. So that's a good way to get to it. But she built up this horrific summary that does not add up and does not explain how you should be watching a film. I hate to say this again, but she's like, I don't like using this line, but she's watching movies wrong. It's you do not argue the flashing lights and the beautiful score is subduing somehow the plot or the characters or whatever. Either the plot and characters do or do not have a story. That's all it is. And you're not paying attention. Anyway. All right. Let's go. Anytime. Let's go.
Before we get into it, I want to talk a little about what cyberpunk is. There is a ton of discussions about the ins and outs of the semantics of the punk suffix, but for the purpose of this essay, we'll be using a broadly agreed upon definition
that word
that I
is suddenly
think...
important to you.
Let's not bring. Why is she bringing up punk? This is so confusing, even in the 80s and 70s. But okay, let's.
That word is suddenly important to her, but all the other words, magically everybody knows what they mean.
Captures. Punk usually has to do with an aggressively subversive countercultural aesthetic that is fundamentally about hope.
What?
What? I've never heard that one before.
No.
Wait, did she say solar punk?
I guess solar punk is a thing. It's mainly commies who are into that. And no. Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind is not solar punk.
Solar punk.
You disgraceful projecting liar.
Well, she did get some of that right. It sounded okay, and then she sort of messed it up at the end there. Let's try it one more time.
This essay will be using a broadly agreed upon definition that I think captures it best. Punk usually has to do with an aggressively subversive countercultural aesthetic
Okay, so countercultural aesthetic sounds close, yeah.
that is fundamentally about hope?
I don't know. I don't think so.
No, I think that's just the commie punks who claim that about themselves because they believe they're making a better world. Really, punk is just about the crazy aesthetic.
Solar punk, cyberpunk, steampunk, all the punk.
No, they're all different. They're all unique. You cannot say they're all the same. No.
Steampunk is not about hope. What the hell are you talking about?
I don't even. Yeah.
An alternate future.
Steampunk is just the aesthetic,
Pretty
and it's
much.
the punk part in it that is the indicator for the chaotic aesthetic on it. That you don't have all the casings on the things, so you see all the workings, all the pipes, all the cogs, all of that weird stuff. That is what makes it punk. You don't care about the orderly thing. You just give it the chaotic aesthetic. That is what makes it appealing.
All right. Here's Vladimir Dragunov. Thank you, sir. Who's getting the new Stalker? I didn't even know there was a new Stalker. Thanks for telling me. I'll check it out. Anyway.
Something where the punkish action is having effect. And
the punkish action is not necessarily. There's plenty of stories of rebellion that has nothing to do with impact. It's just people going through the motions.
Cyberpunk is mainly defined through the crazy augmentations that people have.
Yeah, like I don't think
it's about it's about the cybernetics. That is what is the chaos in the visuals, in the visual presentation of this world.
Yeah,
in Solarpunk, you could say it's that everything looks like the thing you know, but it's actually a sophisticated technological thing. Solarpunk is the only thing that looks sort of orderly.
I'm trying to think of like Shadowrunners, the various stories that throughout the years that you could argue that you learn.
Shadowrun is something similar to the Cyberpunk role-playing game. Shadowrun is a German pendant that is originally based on Earthdawn, which is a fantasy role-playing game.
Right.
And Shadowrun is the present-day version where magic is returning to the world. So the difference with Shadowrun is that you have the cyberpunk dystopia mixed with magic is returning. So the battle question then is, what is stronger, my flamethrower or your fireball?
Well, that's the setting, and the game's obviously part of that. But I was referring more to the various plots that I've read and played in the Shadowrun games, where you reveal the underlying values and forces of why the world is the way it is. So that could be something more influential or more core to the world, which I think she's trying to get to, like making a change and learning what actually controls the world. But you don't actually do that within the characters of the story. They just learn about it. So they're not pulling any levers. They're just going, oh, look, there's people pulling the levers. I don't know how that works, though.
Yeah, in Cyberpunk, you don't need to play an actual punk, like she's trying to visualize us here. It can be about any character. It's just that the world has a certain aesthetic to it, a certain technological manifestation, if you will.
Yeah, and we're not talking
about... And hopefully we don't get that.
And we're not talking about the word punk. We're talking about the subgenre or the subcategory for books in those areas like diesel punk and cyberpunk, etc. That's a whole other discussion. We are not even going to try to get into that. And I don't know why she's bringing up real world. This could be anything.
Because if you want to talk about real world punk movement, then by the definition of Generation Zero of punks, none of these guys are punks. They're just LARPing as punks. They're just doing some visual, look at me, I look special, I look ugly. Because the original punk generation, Generation Zero, they were ascetic people. They didn't drink, they didn't smoke, they didn't do any other drugs, they didn't take any money from the state.
Yeah, they
had a code from whom to beg. They would not beg from young people because they didn't have money. They didn't beg from old people because they needed their money.
Was it?
They would only beg. Yeah.
I'm assuming it originated in East Germany or around that area in the 70s or 60s and 70s, where it flourished in the late 70s and then sort of kept going in the 80s. Like there's a big history of it.
More
West Germany. Okay, fair enough. I know it originated in Germany, but it's a whole big discussion, and obviously it's not the right place for this kind of video because she's talking about a story setting genre or subgenre. But to miss that and to not grasp the cyberpunk genre, how it came about with Philip K. Dick and Gibson and all these other guys, it's like if you're gonna go that route, go that route. Don't just say, hey, here's some guys that are fighting in some protest. You're like, that has nothing to do with being a punk.
So what's with the Nicolas Cage Razor Fist look like on screen here? Okay. What is this hybrid?
I wish she described what's going on. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, let's just keep going.
The father?
It generally does. Even in our real life, actual rebellion, actual punk provokes a reaction. A response from the powers that be. Studio Ghibli films, I think, have
Wait. She's not she's not entirely wrong about that, but that has nothing to do with the genres we're talking about.
Right.
The thing is, and you should know this, it is the main strategy of socialists to get a reaction out of you, because their goal, their real action, is your reaction. Because your reaction is then what they can play victim about and say you're actually the bad guy. That's what the Red Army faction, the terrorists of the 80s in Germany, actually tried to do. They planted bombs and all of that shit and allegedly made assassinations, although they only claimed to have done that. And that was just accepted by the media that it was them, because, and they admitted that in their writings, they wanted to unmask the growing police state by forcing the state into enacting laws that turn it into a police state. That was their plan. That was the actual plan, stated, written out. So they wanted, in order to show the people that the state is tyrannical, they wanted to force it into becoming tyrannical through their terrorism. That's insane.
All right. Well, let's not give it too much of a history lesson on what she's missing, because I doubt she has any idea of any of this. And
that's the problem with all of these idiots.
I know.
With all of these useful idiots, that's why they are useful.
I know.
Because the left completely plays on the ignorance of
them. Even books that I've read that have nothing to do with the punk movement, there's people in them that talk about what was the real punk movement during the 70s and the 80s that North America was aware of, that came about from Germany. So it's not just a small little thing, but she's not even addressing that, and that's fine. She can talk about literary stuff, but this is where I have the problem, because there's so much she's just skimming over and getting it wrong. And she's only using aesthetics because I guess it's a video, and she could show a clip of some video or some movie, which is
just assume that if you don't loudly stand up against it and rally people to also do so, then communists will take over whatever exists, whether it is punk, whether it is anime, whether it is Warhammer, whether it is any other hobby, whether it is your political party. They will take it all and then claim it was always this.
All right. Anyway, let's continue.
Pretty good, rarely cited examples of stories worthy of a punk suffix. Radical kindness and empathy, after all, are extremely subversive if you're directing them towards the wrong people.
What?
The hell is radical kindness?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Radical kindness and empathy is the last thing I expect from socialists and communists. I think everything east of the Berlin Wall knows that.
Okay. She's saying some weird stuff. Obviously, we know where her political mind is.
She's a complete brainwashed dullard. She has nothing but propaganda in her head. She probably doesn't even know about any of the bad things, and if so, would say that? Oh, that's the real history. Oh, that's just propaganda against the all-so-good socialism that just needs another chance. Fuck you.
Wait, is she saying the girl from Howl's Moving Castle didn't deserve any empathy or sympathy or whatever that?
No, I think that was a display of that kind of kindness.
It's hard to grasp what she's saying, because it's when she.
The only people who demand radical kindness are narcissists who want their targets to forever be doormats who give them everything they have.
I'm thinking of like some kind of priest in some church who's just so compassionate. Like everything is nice and peaceful to him. He doesn't think of any negative thoughts. He always treats people appropriately. Like it's some weird example that you try to bring up from your memory of someone that pious.
Since he's so radically kind to the children should really give something back when they go to his chambers.
Oh, well, I wasn't going that far. Anyway, let's keep going.
After all, Edgerunners is not this at all. Edgerunners and stuff like Blade Runner fall very closely into what is sometimes derisively called neon liberal, which...
Wait, what?
What?
What was that?
I've never heard that word. Not one.
Wait, did you say...
That is just standard cyberpunk, you fucking dullard.
Did you say neo or neon?
Neon liberal.
I've never heard of that. Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah,
I don't think it's a particularly useful term, even if it's hilarious.
I think this was made up. This
is not an actual dictionary website. This is the
This is Urban Dictionary.
Urban, yeah.
Derogatory term used for a piece of visual.
Wait. Derogatory term used for a piece of media that has the cyberpunk aesthetics with none of the themes usually featured in the cyberpunk genre. So, Blade Runner. One of the first cyberpunk stories ever that defines the genre.
Oh boy!
Is not the genre. Could it be that you just turned it into that you just redefined the genre into your commie bullshit, and thereby have to invent a new term for the other stuff that doesn't fulfill your fan fiction bullshit about the real world?
Let's just forget this word. It doesn't exist in the first place anyway, so who cares?
This is smart. This is how communist newspeak works. This is the word games. They will try to establish this term for all the cyberpunk that they don't like.
Yeah, well, we could laugh at this because this is not even a word, and I don't care, so it doesn't matter. Let's just keep going.
Oh,
hilarious, but honestly better described as corporate dystopia.
Fine, you could use that. That makes sense.
Up until now, these were usually seen in novels, but everything about Edgerun...
Those are all the oldest, the defining things for the genre.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of dystopian stories, so, but corporate
so you dystopia? Just you are admitting your bullshit ideology captured the genre and now says we changed it. Now you must like it the way we changed it.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember Ray Bradbury's...
The old stuff is bad. Don't read the old stuff.
Bradbury's
disgusting.
451, Fahrenheit 451. I'm trying to remember, was there a corporate angle? Like, I don't remember. There were firemen, but they called...
Yeah, but that was still an organ of the state directly.
Yeah, okay, maybe. There you go.
Then they made a horrible reimagining, quote unquote, of Fahrenheit 451.
Okay,
they had that smud. I have to show you that garbage some point.
All right, well,
it's not fucking good.
We'll check it out later. I got to read some super chats. I was totally not paying attention to Vladimir. Hey, Vladimir, the new Stalker is supposed to come out first quarter of 2024. Also, you missed my free super chat. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me scroll up. Well, that's not a super chat. You just said hello. I found out recently that David Attenborough and John Hammond are brothers. Really? I did not know.
Oh, you're a funny one, aren't you?
I'm going to check that out. Again, there's two more from Vladimir. Whisp, if I remember correctly, the Poles were so traumatized by the CCCP that they did everything up to and including blackmail to get into NATO? Wow. That's
possibly. The problem with the Poles is that they don't realize that while they have outlawed both Nazism and communism, so the happy windmill and the hammer and sickle, they do not notice that their two main ruling parties are doing socialist policies. So it's just under a new name, but all this ideological stuff is creeping back in, but it doesn't have the symbol on it, so they don't notice it. And the same threat is all over the West. Look at the policies they make and whether they are socialist. Don't look at just their names and their logos.
All right. Okay. Last one is better dead than red. All righty. Thank you, sir. Let's keep going.
Is about society and most of the characters in full submission to the ideals of the corporate hellscape they
What does that even mean? What is full submission to the corporate ideals?
No,
You have to pay the bills, man.
Smudge is saying it wrong. It's the full idea.
Okay.
You have to pay the bills. These implants don't come cheap.
I would imagine so. You pay people for their services. That's how it goes. Yeah. Okay.
live in. They aren't rebelling. They're slavishly, worshipfully living its story to their dying breaths with one exception.
No, of course they are rebelling. They're criminals.
Okay, this is like saying, America's dream of what a better life is they're slavishly fulfilling their ideology. It's like, well, yeah, you do your job. You're trying to get a better life. You work harder. You take 2 jobs. You push yourself. You do extra hours, whatever.
You know what rebelling in socialism got you?
Freedom.
Fucking bullet between your eyes.
Okay, that too. All right.
But what is the story of Night City, you ask? Well, it's a familiar...
Weren't you just describing it? What are you doing then?
Well, it's a familiar one. Hi, I'm... Wait, what the fuck's this bird? Idle Scree, and welcome to the channel
What are we talking about again? I can't remember. All right, let's keep going.
familiar one.
It don't get much more romantic than that in Night City.
Night City is a beautiful neon metropolis filled with mega structures, superhighways, and corporate towers that light up the night sky with vibrant advertisements.
Inner city highways are not beautiful. They're the most disgusting thing you can have in a city. They're loud, they're ugly, they're obnoxious, you have no light under them. It's horrible. Get a grip on reality.
Yeah, it's kind of like...
Metropolis only look nice from far away as you see the nice blinking lights. Inside, they're shit.
Yeah, it's kind of like the second Cyberpunk 2077 feature video we saw. Like, wow, look at this amazing city. And then you get the real thing and it's like, oh, this is not as advertised, sadly.
There's a joke... well, it is a living joke. In China, I don't remember the name of the city. They only allow you to photograph and film it at night because they have put all these LEDs everywhere so that it looks like a cyberpunk city, like super modern. And in daylight, it's just the most rubbish crap ever.
I'm not surprised.
Mad Stan went after the wrong buildings.
All right.
It is a beautifully realized, wild look at a futuristic, cyberpunk American city, but it isn't. The streets of Night City.
What is it? What are you talking
So
about?
it's just a normal American city.
Are we watching the same show? What's going on?
Like that's any American city. It looks nice with the lights on at night from far away. And then you go in and there's shit on the street and homeless everywhere doing drugs. Yeah, great. That's just as it is right now. Just with less LEDs.
Yeah, well, go to Vancouver. You'll find lots and lots of drugs there. So anyway.
Are choked with the downtrodden, the homeless, the suffering. Every waking hour is fraught with the struggle and the fear that a stray bullet will end your life.
So downtown Toronto.
And the city only shrugs.
So wait. So every American Democrat/socialist runs city. That's your guys. Your guys run these cities. They make them be like that. That's not the fault of capitalism or corporatism. Well, it is the fault of corporatism in a way because your guys are in power and they are making it worse. Isn't that wonderful? I think you're voting for the wrong people.
I remember the was it Neuromancer where you're not allowed to have really normal guns, like anything that is very deadly, but you can buy illegal weapons that aren't guns but are also can do some damage. I remember that part in the story of Neuromancer where they suppress all the guns, but there's like crazy crime rates anyway. So even if you suppress weapons, they're still going to have lots of crime.
Yeah, because it gets worse because then nobody has any means to defend themselves against criminals who get the weapons anyway.
Right. Yeah.
And then only the people. Then there's only illegal weapons out there, and good people don't break the law, so they don't legally get weapons, so they don't have weapons. So only the criminals have weapons, who don't care about the law, and illegally get weapons. Do you see the problem with your gun laws?
That's the American cities that are ruled by the liberal-minded counselors. Yeah.
Liberal. What's liberal about not having guns?
Well, that's weird when you live in America. Yeah.
It's so liberating not having protection.
Okay.
The only thing about guns and liberals that we hear is from the communists saying liberals get the bullet too.
Yeah. Okay.
Fuck off.
Here's Vladimir Dragunov for 2 more super chats. Thank you, sir. Democracy is non-negotiable. Communism is the very definition of failure. Okay. Fair enough. There's lots of historical examples of that. We're not going to get into that because that's why we have Wisp. Anyway.
But because democracy, East Germany was democratic by definition.
Okay.
We had a socialist unity party that you had to vote for because anything else would be politically incorrect. And the socialist unity party was, of course, democratically legitimate because everyone was by definition a socialist. And if you weren't a socialist, you were a wrong thinker who got the gulag or the bullet. So since everybody is a socialist, everybody agrees with the socialist party. Thereby, the socialist party is democratically legitimated to do whatever it pleases. Democracy fulfilled. It's circular logic.
All right.
That's why when they speak of our democracy, they always mean our hegemony.
Let's not turn this into a history lesson about. You know.
That's all. It's not a history lesson. It's a present day lesson.
Okay.
Because this is going on right now.
Let's focus on the video. Here's Vladimir Dragunov. Why is she describing Chirac? I don't know what Chirac is. I apologize. What is Chirac?
Jacques Chirac?
Jacques Chirac? I have no idea.
That's been a couple of years ago.
Okay. And there's Chris Tutu. How's it going, buddy? The British knife ban is really dumb. Oh, they have a... Okay.
Yeah, exactly the same problem. Now, there's constant knife attacks, so they ban knives. So the people who kill people with knives, who don't care about the law, keep killing people with knives illegally. Who would have guessed?
You're so brave and daring, aren't we? With banning knives. Wait till they ban chairs and dishes.
Yeah, let's not talk about who's doing the knife attacks.
All right, okay, let's keep going. Vladimir again. Okay, gotta slow down here. We're gonna get back to the video. So anyway, thank you, sir. The prohibition of alcohol was a complete disaster. Why do these people think a prohibition on firearms would be any better?
They don't. Because the goal is not to get rid of violence or gun crime. The goal is to get a disarmed population so that you can more easily suppress it, so that it can't rise up against you, and so that if it ever wants to protest in the capital for a takeover, for a rebellion, that everybody will buy a ticket on the train station. We made jokes about it in Germany decades ago. That if there's ever an uprising in Germany, the Germans will buy a ticket at the train station first, because we need to be orderly. We need to obey the rules. After all, we will not step on the grass when we do our rebellion because there's a sign saying we shouldn't step on the grass.
Okay.
And I've been at protests at the Reichstag. People do not step on the fucking grass because there's a sign that says don't step on the grass.
All right, we are 4 minutes in at normal speed, and we are pausing every frickin' 5 seconds. It's kind of painful. Anyway, keep going.
City of dreams, but it is built on a foundation of empty promises. Sound familiar? Science fiction is always about the fears of today, not tomorrow. Night City...
Wait. Stop.
No. What the fuck?
Science fiction, the idea... okay, how do we explain this?
She doesn't even know what science fiction is about because she only knows this stupid, entertaining, lowbrow bullshit.
Yeah, if we are seeing a conflict in a futuristic world, let's say 200 years in the future, like Mass Effect, or pick anyone, doesn't matter. That's science fiction. Yes, the problems of today can seem very similar to that world, but when you talk about the literal plot of aliens fighting the galaxy, no, we don't have that problem right now. Today, that's why we have science fiction, to have these conflicts which are beyond our understanding and imagination, because it's fun to go there in our imagination. So no, we don't have real world conflicts per se as the main conflict in science fiction. that would be redundant. Why would you waste a setting like that? So
science fiction is mainly about philosophical exploration of an idea that usually is technological in nature.
Yeah.
The term technology is thereby a very wide one, because how a civilization is organized is a form of technology in that sense. That's why in Star Trek we visit different planets, different cultures that are not simply defined by we have some scientific doodad that does a thing, but instead just meeting their various strange cultures and how they interact with that and what that does to them in the positive and the negative. The Orville did that surprisingly well, to the point where, and this is the important part, leave the conclusion of, is this good? Is this bad? What will the future hold for these people? Open to the viewer, open to the audience. It doesn't give a judgment. It doesn't give a conclusion by itself. It leaves that open to you to think about. That is what good science fiction is.
I could use a standard definition, and I shouldn't have to, but I don't know where she's getting this understanding of a plot or of a conflict. But let me just pull up Google here. What is science fiction? Fiction based on imagined future scientific or technological advances and major social or environmental changes, frequently portraying space or time travel and life on other planets. Hopefully.
That's a horrible definition.
Yeah, it's not very good. Hopefully, but that concept of using as a setting transports you to another world where the problems of your current life seem minuscule to the bigger ideas of like an Asimov or pick any, I'm trying to think of Banks. That's a great example. The Culture series. There's a great example of space socialism. Like that's crazy. Anyway, bad take on the definitions. She's not doing a very good job with her dictionary.com.
And yes, Dune is science fiction.
Yeah, for sure.
Leah in the chat asked.
For sure. Oh, we got some more super chats. Okay. Vladimir Dragunov, Chicago plus Iraq is Chirac? Wow. I had no idea.
Okay, it was a portmanteau.
Yeah, it was.
I did not get that because Chirac is a name.
Yeah, I thought it was a name. I thought it was a person. I'm like, what does that mean?
A French president of a couple decades ago.
Yeah. All right. Here's Frog Jupiter. Thank you, sir, for the 2. Democracy is cringe. Return of German Kaiser. Well,
I think I'm legally not allowed to agree with that.
I'm okay, but if you like the idea of kings and queens coming back, I mean, a lot of people like that.
Back.
Sorry?
The old thing back that
it seems to be easier to reset in case of massive corruption. We don't seem to have anything in our current quasi or pseudo democratic systems that allows for a total corruption of the state system to be done. We can't reset that.
If you want a monarchy or
problems.
a feudalistic setting, or back to a feudalistic.
I wouldn't say want. I just think that the experiment we've done for the past 100 years kind of backfired.
Oh. Uh-oh. Well, I like the Liège waffles, but anyway, let's keep going. Pilaf. Cool. Thank you, sir, for the $2. I say Rick and Morty is not real sci-fi. It has science fiction elements. Fair enough.
Yeah.
You could say that. That's fine.
It's a
comedy. It was comedy,
yeah,
to be honest.
It's a strange type of it's a pseudo nihilistic sci-fi comedy.
Yeah, that
mainly works through reference.
Yeah, trying to categorize or put these things in boxes is fine, but if you don't obviously it's a comedy. We all get that, right? So you don't have to take the science fiction too seriously, and the themes of science fiction aren't really there. Just the setting is there. So all kinds of gadgets and technology and aliens and God knows what else. Anyway, here's a gigantic super chat from Chris Tutu.
Wow.
I think you have too much money there, sir. I know Christmas is done, but maybe
Wait, how much money?
$69.99 Canadian. That's like $200, like at least
$200
in America.
What? Since when does a Canadian dollar is this worth that much? I think he's just compensating for Mike not donating anymore.
Oh no, that's
damn.
fine. That's fine. Well, I think we taught Mike how to invest, not to spend. anyway, let's keep going. Chris, thank you, sir. Smudboy, didn't you know Reapers in Mass Effect are actually allegory for the Mexican crossing the border? Remember, things happening in the future in a sci-fi story are all about today. But honestly, escapism has left the room for these people. I don't know where she's going. Maybe she heard this from like a writer, and the writer said something like, well, good sci-fi involves the problems of today, like something like that. I think she picked up and she just said that, because no one would ever say that in a conversation with sci-fi writers or readers. They'd be like, what are you talking about? No.
So deciding what pants to wear today is the problems of the future. Got it. I'll be sure to write that in the new dystopian novel.
Yeah, it's not the best way to start your premise.
It's gonna be 10 chapters, by the way.
You're gonna write a dystopian novel about punks, but not necessarily diesel punks.
It's gonna be punks, hyper capitalists, corporate capitalists, whatever the hell this woman said. And then it's just the first 10 chapters are a complete waste of time on whether or not the main character should wear a different type of pants or not.
Yeah, well.
I can do a steampunk story solely with the nobles who run the world.
Oh, geez. Like when people do the manga of like Biden versus Obama, and they're like stupid shit. They're like fighting each other in their apartment buildings or something.
Biden and Obama wouldn't fight each other. That's nonsense.
Oh, they do. It's a great manga. It's really fun.
Oh, there is a manga that does that.
Oh God, yeah. There's so many mangas of Obama. You never know.
And I wanted to make a reference to Transmetropolitan, which is basically Trump versus Obama, but predicted 10 years or 20 years earlier.
Anyway, we are going way off topic. Let's get back. Final super chat from P-Leaf. Again, thank you, sir. The next state system will be a caliphate in Germany. I don't think so.
That is the goal of the people who want to build that all across the Western world.
Oh dear. Well,
all across the world, not just here. It's everywhere. They want to do that everywhere.
Let's not.
All right.
That's
Smud.
all. That's all.
What?
Smud, just listen with me here. Every time she plays copyright music, just speed the video up. All right.
Oh, that's a good idea. All right.
Every time.
Okay, we are at 4 minutes, and we're pausing every 5 seconds. That was just on her definition of science fiction, and we went into politics again. So I do apologize, but yeah, we gotta keep going.
Representation of the worst trends in our society today, and reflects a true hell that, despite being near future, represents the end of human life as it is understood.
What? No, it's not. How is this the end of human life? What are you talking about?
I thought it was supposed to be hope.
Why is the cyberpunk genre, or specifically this episode or show, using the cyberpunk setting, the end of what? That doesn't make any sense. Why?
Because of the cybernetic implants?
Are we ascending from our basal nature?
Cyberpunk can have an element of transhumanism in it in the form of mind upload technology.
Yep.
But Edge Runners doesn't have that yet.
Yeah. So what is she talking about? Maybe I'm missing something in the show. I don't know.
Reducing it down to basic forms of survival in a hostile environment.
So life. Like all of life. Whether you live in nature, in the wild, or whether you live in a...
It's not the communist utopia. It's horrible.
It's all concrete. Oh, it's beautiful. It's all... Yeah, okay.
Oh no, I have to buy food and eat it and digest it and then shit it out again.
Oh my God,
and hopefully
capitalism.
I have a toilet with running water to get rid of it, because otherwise that's going to be really, really annoying. Hopefully I have toilet paper or a bidet.
You know, we have this ongoing feud, or at least the Liberals do in Canada, of all of our grocery stores because they're charged too much. And it's like they barely make less than 1% in profit. You think they charge too much. And it's like
That's not even a profit margin.
that's their profit margin. Yeah.
How do they even pay rent?
It's for every 25 Canadian bucks. The like Loblaws is one of our like 30% of our chains in Canada. They make $1 profit.
Do they get subsidies?
I don't. They have weird subsidies like the bread subsidy. Like they have this whole grain subsidy thing that making sure that we can produce grain, but they don't directly get it. No. Anyway.
Fuck.
Anyway, yeah, no, this is a whole other topic. Let's not go there.
Power of this environment is enforced by a story that in this futuristic hellscape of a habitat is told and retold by its corporate overlords to the point that it's basically gospel. The story of Night City is this: nobody is special, but anyone can become special if you work hard enough. And
so the American dream.
No, so life.
Yeah.
That's again life.
Yeah, life, the American, like anything about.
Not just the American dream is just that crystallized, but overall, that's just a story of humanity since time immemorial.
Yeah, I'm not seeing.
And every living organism.
Yeah, you get better and better than everyone else. So survival of the fittest, etc.
The lazy organism dies without reproducing.
Pretty much, yeah. All right, one more from Dragon Apple. We'll get back to the video. I've seen people compare the Tyranids and Chaos Cultists to Jews, and these are the woke people. Yeah, we're not going to... That is a whole other topic.
Tyranids?
Okay, in short, TLDR, they are just going mask off, and they are projecting, because woke people are just the current iteration of socialist strategy, and socialists always project, and socialists are the subversive, all-consuming types that do exactly what the Tyranids with their gene stealer cults and the chaos cultists are doing. End of story.
All right, yeah, let's not get into other stories because that's gonna.
We'll go deeper into that if we ever get a Warhammer video.
If we get a Warhammer video, that'd be great, but not on this one, please. Thank you. Okay.
Are lucky enough, you can make an impact and die in a way that immortalizes you. This, of course, is nothing but lies. It's more convenient to die and imagine yourself to be immortalized rather than live with the reality that people will eventually forget you ever existed.
What do you mean? Okay, I have to ask more concretely. What does she mean with immortalized? Because that thing was a news story for 5 minutes.
Wasn't it a mention from the female main character saying it doesn't matter what you live? Like at the start of the video, she said, it doesn't matter what you do, it matters how you die in Night City? Something like that? Like that was a...
Yeah, in a way, then you get your five minutes of fame. But even then, that is forgotten after those 5 minutes. Nobody will remember you. Even if you are the head of a corporation, nobody will remember you. Most people don't even know who you are, even though you are one of the most powerful people in the city. And maybe that's good. That's also been the way since ancient times. Marcus Aurelius, who did not think that he would ever be remembered by history, wrote that about those people before him. And most Roman emperors were not remembered by history. We have them written down, sure. But how many Roman emperors can you name?
Only the ones that were
the
horrible.
most famous, most powerful people for millennia. How many of them can you name? And no, Julius Caesar, Kaiser, however you want to pronounce him, he was not a Roman emperor. No, wait, I'm messing that up. He was not a Kaiser. That's that way around.
Let's not go there. It's okay.
I messed that up.
It's okay. Back to the video.
Is built on the ideas of hypercapitalism, the lie of survival.
What is this? Again, we're back to the second definition.
Yeah, hyper-corporatism, which is socialism, is somehow hyper-capitalism.
Whatever.
Survival of the fittest, and the inevitable suffering caused by pursuing.
Let's just rewind that.
Eventually,
I mean, it's in so far.
Ever.
It is in so far honest as that that capitalism is basically defined by the socialist critique of capitalism. So they defined it effectively. But since that too is a projection by the socialists, because that is what they do in practice when they are in total power, then she is technically correct that yes, this is hypercapitalism, that is socialism. This is your product of socialism, since these are corporations that are state-controlled, congratulations, you hate socialism. You just don't know it. Let's continue.
Existed. It is built on the ideas of hypercapitalism, the lie of survival of the fittest, and the inevitable...
The lie of survival...
Survival of the fittest.
So Darwin was lying? His scientific theory just was disproven because she said so.
I don't think she even knows what fittest means in this context, and that is the best adapted. David, the main character, he is adapting to his circumstances. Maybe not in best course of life he could have chosen, but he is adapting to it, and for a time he has a pretty life together with Lucy.
Wait a second. Isn't the whole concept of cybernetics and augmentation to adapt faster than what your biological means can do so? Isn't that the whole idea, to be able to lift 200 pounds instantly because you got an implant of some kind? So wouldn't that be the very true, real nature of survival of the fittest, to become better?
Yes. On top of that, Davin is a chosen one because he has a military-grade implant in him that nobody else could use, that just killed every host. It will kill him too, but he just has way more resilience against that, so the effect takes way longer to fry his brain. But technically, he's a chosen one.
Right. I have a feeling that she's mixing her philosophy with the story improperly, or
of course,
or somehow bringing up Darwin. And I'm like,
suffering pursuing these ideas. The foundations of hypercapitalism ensure Night City is less a place to live and more of a meat grinder, a machine that is fueled by its citizens' bloodshed, broken dreams, and empty wallets. Everyone who lives in Night City is part of that machine. And no one seems to care. They're apathetic, and why wouldn't they be? If you're not a corpo or a celebrity, you're one bad day away from being dead in the streets somewhere. And even if you're lucky enough to be born into a wealthy family at Arasaka, or have the good fortune to become successful on your own, you're just as likely to wind up...
surprisingly honest.
Okay, so she's describing what is one of the many elements of, I wouldn't just say dystopia, but also cyberpunk as well, is that there's the plight of those dispossessed from nature, from humanity, the things that make you feel and care, the soft stuff. So if she knew some books that did that, and there's lots of books that do that, not just ones in science fiction, where people are despondent. They're not there. They don't feel like they're alive. She'll know what this means. And she's saying, well, people just don't care. It's like, well, why do they not care? Is there something in the air? Is there a drug that's causing them to turn off that element in their behavior? Is it taught to them by their parents? Like, what's going on? Because there's lots of explanations for this sort of mentality. But she just says, no, they just don't care, because the lie of survival of the fittest, or whatever the hell she's talking about. So, I have not seen the show, so I'm assuming that this is just this general vibe of everyone sort of looking out for themselves, not getting involved with other people, trying to keep a thick
Not
skin.
really, no.
Oh, they're all involved? They all care about each other? I have no idea.
People care about each other as much as you can expect in a big city.
Yeah.
You eventually find your little group of maybe friends or just people in a similar situation who stick together due to shared circumstances, because it's easier to survive in a group than alone. And that's kind of it.
Okay.
Again, basic human behavior.
Yep.
Somewhere. The story of Night City consumes and destroys everyone inside it. Every person who lives within its boundaries is tied to it. They cannot imagine a future beyond Night City. The one way that some people feel they can regain some control over their lives.
I wonder what that means.
Because people don't like to leave their home.
They can't imagine a future outside of Nights. Like, why not?
That doesn't even come up. That's her projecting on the characters.
Okay.
But even then, I would say people don't just want to abandon their home, the place they grew up in, the place they know, to go to someplace completely different.
Well, the reason why you would go to Night City is because there is all this opportunity, and it could happen instantly, or it could kill you.
Yeah, but the characters here, they didn't come to Night City. As far as we know, they were all born here.
Oh, yeah?
They're all native to Night City. The only one who wants to get away from Night City is Lucy. She wants to go to the moon.
Fly me to the moon.
Ich möchte singen, ich möchte springen.
That
über
sounds
den
like
Mond, wo keiner wohnt.
That sounds like the plot of Gattaca. The guy just wants to go to space. But despite being in a world of superhumans that have been born to be,
my
gods.
My main problem with the whole moon thing is that the price doesn't seem that high compared with what all the implants cost that these people are getting.
Oh yeah.
It's like you probably have 2 moon tickets augmented to you by now, where you're only a brain in a jar at this point.
To the man and make some money while doing it is by becoming an edge runner, a mercenary specializing in tech and guns, a soldier of fortune. This life, however, still leads down the path towards eventual horrible death, only this time through self-destruction. I also find it really interesting that a core part of the representation here is the incredibly explicit depiction of what being a cyborg in this show looks like. The characters literally undergo multiple surgeries, amputations, removal of internal organs, literally tearing themselves apart to achieve an illusion of control over their...
Yeah, well, so you knew nothing about Cyberpunk. Absolutely nothing. How do you think they get these implants in any other science fiction depiction where people have these augmentations? How do you think they got them into their bodies? By magic?
This is almost, I think it's chapter 3 or 4 in pretty much any cyberpunk book you read, and whether it happens directly or indirectly, like you're doing a delivery, the characters are doing delivery, and they come across a clinic. There's all kinds of doctors and surgeons and people fighting about their implants and rejecting implants, and some guy walking wobbly because his implant isn't connected properly. Like, this is standard.
How the hell do you think Elon Musk is going to give you your mandatory USB slot into your neck? How do you think Space Marines are made?
Yeah. So the biotechnological scenes are...
She just admitted she's a bloody normie
who knows
never read nothing about science fiction.
She's never read any of the classics, I imagine.
She just has posted the pictures. She's not read a single one of them.
Oh my God, Studio Trigger drew blood. I'm like, yeah, I hope so. They better have.
It's probably why she threw Fahrenheit in there.
Oh yeah, that's actually rather tame in comparison.
Lives. As mercs upgrade their cyberware, they slowly lose their humanity, and with it, their grip on reality, developing cyberpsychosis, a condition that causes them to relive traumatic events while going berserk and attacking anything nearby with a pulse. Cyberpsychos are put down by corporate-sponsored police units. Not because of the loss of life, of course not, but the risk of damage to property. So
Wait. Did you watch the show? The moments these characters relive while they go through cyber psychosis is not necessarily traumatic. Like the big guy.
Yeah, this is...
He was just in his mind, he was just on that big field that he ran across.
Yeah, this is...
It was peaceful. He was at peace in his mind.
This is essentially what happens to the plot of Blade Runner. All the artificial beings, they go past their due date and they go crazy.
And and in this case, they're not necessarily reliving traumatic events. Just their whole perception, their sensual processing just misfires. They're hallucinating. It's not the same thing as just reliving traumatic events. You are an idiot.
This is again just like many other stories with the cyberpunk's setting and genre. I would say par for the course. Actually, this is pretty standard.
What are your options? Work yourself to death, rip yourself apart, or go out in a blaze of glory trying to make a name for yourself?
Those are not mutually exclusive.
I just know it.
Enter our protagonist, David Martinez.
Oh God,
David is a 17-year-old kid growing up on the main streets of Night City. He's poor, but is able to attend the prestigious Arasaka Academy thanks to his mother's job working for Night City's health services. He's a straight-A student.
It's not... You missed half the point already. You fucking loser lunatic. You brainlet. It's not due to his mother's job for working for the ambulance. No. She is working her ass off to the point of exhaustion that she is not even she is trying to hide from him. She is also stealing cyberware from crime scenes. In this case, the very cyberware, that spine implant that he's gonna get, which is a super secret military grade cyber implant that the big corporations are looking for. That is how she makes money. That is how she is able, with this crappy job, to pay for his tuition. The job alone doesn't cover it. She is still behind on bills. You fucking idiot.
All right. Here's another super chat from Vladimir. Thank you, sir. No one tell her how Space Marines or Spartans are made or what your chance of surviving either of those procedures are. Yeah, no, we're not going to get into that. It's, I don't know. She just has to read. Just please tell her in the comments, please read a book. Any book. That'll do. Well, not any book, but, in the genre. Okay.
No romance fan
He doesn't
fiction
fit
of
in
vampires.
due to his poor socioeconomic status. He's bullied by his peers and sells XPDs to scrape together extra cash for him and his mom, and God, do they need it. The name David is Hebrew in origin and popularized by the famous King David, the second king of ancient Israel. David is viewed as a
The third, but never mind.
complicated but mostly heroic figure in Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, and has had lots of wacky adventures
Islam
over the
doesn't give a
course of
shit
any of
about
those
that.
texts, but this
Is there really religious symbolism with the name David in this story?
Not really.
Yeah.
He does become a Goliath at the end to fight another Goliath.
Like
That's what you could say. But he's still the bigger. He's still the taller guy with the suit on. He's
story of
he's not winning. Okay.
All right.
David and Goliath is possibly the most famous. We'll get to that later. Despite having the name of a king, David's life is one of poverty. His mother barely makes enough to keep their appliances running, and in order for him to keep up to date with his classes, he has to buy bootleg updates from sketchy sources. Cutting
No, he
corners like
doesn't.
this
He
causes
doesn't
him
have
and
to.
his mom
That's the fucking point. You didn't watch the fucking show. You fucking lying bitch. He didn't have to do that. He does. His mother wants him to have legitimate software because she wants him to succeed. She is breaking an arm and a leg for him to be in there. She is neglecting other bills. She is doing criminal shit beneath the surface that nobody knows about but her edge runner friends. She wants him to be legit so that he has it better than her. And he, who doesn't know what she's actually doing and why they're out of bills, out of compassion for his mother, he tries in his stupid, juvenile way, due to lack of communication, you could blame that part, he gets compromised software off the black market for cheap that is virus ridden, so that his mother is financially better off. He does it for his mother. That's his intention on why he does that. But it is what screws everything up. Because he doesn't know what his mother's really doing.
bigger financial problems in the long run. David's daily routine literally involves him plummeting to his potential demise every morning on the way to school. And during his daily journey through the city, he sees death and destruction and misery all around him, and he's apathetic to it. Night City has made him so. David does take on some important life lessons from two mentor figures throughout the story. One of them, his mother Gloria, which is another deeply religious name referencing...
Really?
Most of our names here have religious background.
I'm reminded of the name Glory in the first Shadowrun game. Not the Super Nintendo version, the one that was remade.
I mean, could this be a reference to that?
She was a very very well liked character, side character in, or she was one of your companions in the story. So,
and despite having older meanings, all these names of Michael, Alexander, Peter, they all have religious meaning in some form because people had those names. Oh, what a surprise!
Yeah, like when she said "Long live the king," I was assuming some sort of weird rebellion leader, political power control. But I don't think that's
like as long as there's a character in there called Uwe, I'm not gonna assume that was not deliberate. It's an old German name that I think means bear.
All right.
One is basically a song of adulation towards an almighty god, while the other is the leader of an edge runner crew, Maine. Both of them impart wisdom about life in Night City and its bloody lessons. These lessons shape David's perspective on life and ultimately lead to his downfall. Gloria Martinez is a single mother who works as an EMT, driving the meat wagon, scraping the bloody remains of gunned-down cyber psychos and Night City residents who can't afford health care off the pavement. She works so hard and makes...
In that situation, she scraped off a violent criminal. He was already dead. There is no healthcare necessary.
No, Wisp, we need two ACs of fucking whatever to check into the corpse of the cyber psycho. All right,
there's probably nothing. There's probably little more unhealthy than a socialist healthcare system. We see that in the NHS in the UK. Half of it seems to be a euthanasia program.
In order to pay for David's schooling, she sells cyberware.
On that note, your socialist healthcare system in the UK had an order to not resuscitate autists in case of needing resuscitation.
Fun.
Let that sink in.
She steals off the corpses she recovers. Gloria exhausts herself to make ends meet and ensure David has the best possible education she can manage. Through tears, she shares her dream of one day seeing David happy and successful at the top of the social hierarchy in Night City.
Yes.
You have to work hard and rise through the ranks. My son at Arasaka Tower, top floor, I can just see it.
And then she's unceremoniously caught in a drive-by
atrocious.
shooting and dies from her injuries because of how hard she worked. Gloria Martinez imparts her most important lesson to David. It is a noble...
She got shot in an accident because... And David was in the car because a cyberpunk gang got into a shootout. I don't remember whether with the authorities or another cyberpunk gang. And she was shot. He wasn't. They were both in the same car. Her death is a complete accident. There's nothing to do with how much she worked. It was a complete accident. It was a stray bullet, if you will. She just happened to be in the way of that bullet. You didn't watch the fucking show.
Work yourself to death for others. It is noble to light yourself on fire that others stay warm. Later on, David meets Maine and his crew.
What was that? It is noble to light yourself on fire so that others stay warm? Is that a metaphor?
Yes, it's supposed to be a metaphor on how you should totally sacrifice yourself for anyone just because.
That's a strange metaphor. Holy hell. I've never heard that.
I'm sorry, no. You do that for your family, all right, but that's it.
Okay.
Maine, tough. He's a good leader. He takes a liking to David almost immediately. He shows him the ropes, teaches him how to drive, how to take care of himself, and imparts a certain fatherly wisdom that David never got at home. Maine very explicitly embodies the outward ideal of Night City's destructive narrative. Eventually, though, Maine does start to lose his grip on reality, and when prompted by Dorio to slow down, he refuses. Maine tries to hide the early signs.
And that happens because of his implants, so we are still in Cyberpunk. How is it not Cyberpunk? I hope you get to that.
Psychosis. He can't quit. He has to keep going. No stopping. But all the years of cyberware upgrades and combat drugs have caught up to him, and Maine goes psycho like the rest. After losing it and getting Dorio killed, he gives up. He tells David that he can't save him, and when the police come...
Because he knows he's too far gone. This is irreparable damage. This is irreparable nerve damage. Your brain is fried. He understands that. That's why he's sending David away. Because he still has that much grip on what's going on.
Kicking down the doors, Maine tells David,
Fast is what you do best, ain't it? Just keep running.
And then he goes out with a bang. Through Maine's death, David receives his second most important lesson. Death is the only way out. It is the end to achieve. Which gives us the truth of that story, the mainstream that Maine represents. These lessons combined transform David from a clever kid with a theoretically bright future ahead of him into a chrome fiend, fully
No, the whole point is that he didn't learn the fucking lesson. Because all he does is live for someone else's dream. For the realization of Lucy's dream. And for that, he gives himself up. He has seen what cyberpsychosis does, yet he goes full cyber to the point where he knows it's coming. The cyberpsychosis is coming. That even his chosen one's mind cannot take all of the shit he has upgraded himself with on top of this super implant that he has. He doesn't care because all he does is try to realize Lucy's dream in not seeing, this is the tragic part, not seeing that Lucy would actually really like him being with her on the moon after all.
Okay. Here's a donation in a super chat I'm going back through. Chris Tutu, thank you. They have to still check for a pulse. Okay. That's good. That's what EMTs should be doing.
You never know what's in there. What's going on in there? Just because it doesn't move doesn't mean it's dead. But yeah, the whole thing is, this is why it's a tragic story.
Okay. And
he's an idiot. He didn't learn his lesson.
Here is a donation from Niels, a gay man. Thank you, Niels. The title is hilarious. Korra could never be accidentally equal in quality to The Last Airbender. The show is beloved by people who have to take fists full of Adivin? And
You're getting away from the mic, Smud.
I know, I gotta bend over to read. It's so dark. And shouldn't be allowed within 1,000 feet of a school zone. Total airbender death. Alrighty. Well, that was the first part of our video that we had to skip over because that was horrible. I don't think we want to listen to fan fiction all day, but yeah, no, thank you. That was great. We are 11 minutes in, not even halfway done. Yeah, this is
through it. Come on.
I don't know. She is really bad at this, and I haven't.
Well, she is a bat.
I haven't watched this show, but I know that some of this does not add up just by listening.
I guess David couldn't handle the mainstream style.
Oh, he wasn't rebellious enough. Yeah. Anyway.
Bought and sold into the narrative of live hard, work hard, and go out in that blaze of glory. But for him, it's represented in a martyrdom complex. His Ripper Doc warns him that with every upgrade to his cyberware, his risk of cyberpsychosis increases. And yet, he runs headlong into danger without a thought for his own safety. Constantly looking for action, he chases the high, throwing plans out the window and risking his own safety for others on his team. Don't get me wrong, David cares about his friends, but by showing such carelessness for his own health and safety, he puts them all at risk. The martyrdom is the thing he's subconsciously chasing. It is the end, as David has no dream beyond it. David is not a dreamer.
You're an idiot!
David's life so far has...
You're an idiot! He has a dream, and that is realizing Lucy's... How can you be so fucking dumb? This is women always claim to be so empathetic and understanding relationships and all this love shit. And here we have a perfect example of a woman who doesn't understand how a man's mind works. Could it be that that's just the case in general? That women don't know how men's minds work, how men's hearts work?
I'm not even sure it's an issue of that. I think she just didn't watch the show. She's making stuff up and did you pay attention when you watched the show? Did you read a summary somewhere? Maybe she got the
Don't just eat fruit, you You bad. Eat some meat that helps develop your brain.
Is there a
Need some protein.
Is there like an anime Plex Cole's Notes version of Edge Runners somewhere we can look at and see if it's any different?
I would assume that would mention some of the things she's not getting.
Yeah.
So far has essentially taught him that the possibility of a better future is non-existent for himself. In Night City, people don't live. They survive. So instead of fighting for...
He doesn't care about his life. He cares about Lucy. This whole self-sacrifice thing is what men do for their loved ones, for their families, for their wives, for their kids. That's what they do.
I guess you could call him an edge runner.
You could argue
his own dreams for the dream.
He's actually doing this in the way his mother wanted to get him a better life. Now he's doing it for someone else. Like it could be something like that, as simple as that.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. He's resorting to criminality as well, although that's the most superficial way to say it.
Yeah.
Fights for the dream of the person he is closest to. The only person in Night City with a dream at all.
Really?
It's like a prison from here.
No, that is not true either. Bloody hell!
Entire city.
A cage of light.
Lucy is the heroine of Cyberpunk Edgerunners, as well as the only character who...
Heroine? No. She is a protagonist, but she's more the passive kind. She's the princess that the hero does everything for. He tries to save her by getting her out of the dungeon that is Night City.
Yeah.
By realizing her dream of escape from the dungeon she is trapped in.
I'm trying to see how this is not Cyberpunk. It sounds very classic Cyberpunk to me. They have to go somewhere to save someone with technology and augmentation. There's problems along the way and all this various...
And there's corporate secrets and shit.
Yeah. This sounds extremely Cyberpunk to me. Like, where do we get to the point where it's not Cyberpunk? Do they ride a unicycle or something? Like, do they use magic? Like, what happens?
Who dares imagine a life beyond Night City. Lucy is a netrunner, a skilled hacker in the Cyberpunk universe, who introduces David to the edge-running life and unintentionally gives David something to live for. She is jaded, oftentimes gloomy or depressed, but Lucy is also the only person in the story who's truly alive. The name Lucy literally...
In the very beginning, she was just using him. You could argue the same for just running with it. And her agreeing and she figuring out that David is worth more than just using him. Because that's what it looks like.
Translates to light or light bringer. Like a falling star, she shines a light on David's life. When she becomes tethered to him by falling in love, she becomes embroiled in the mess and apathy just like he does. She becomes trapped in the mire of Night City, even calling it a prison made of light that drowns out her own. Most of the characters believe, live, and die by the story of Night City. The lie told by Night City's overlords and perpetuated by its people, that working hard and dying in a blaze of glory will immortalize you. All of the inhabitants within Night City are
running in there.
That was fun.
That was that guy's fault. He wasn't even fucking...
It was set up in a slapstick comedic way. And he was more of a hothead than David was in the beginning, and that's what got him killed. It shows the contrast of where David is at this point.
I feel like she's describing the wrong character. She should be describing the guy that just gets blown up right there.
Oh dear.
Founded this narrative and even enshrine it as a way of life. However, it is a story that only has the one ending: death in service to the story itself. Blood sacrifices on the altar of wealth and corruption, symbolized by Arasaka.
No.
Is she getting poetic here? What is she talking about?
No, she's just making up shit because she wants to shit on the capitalism. Lucy gets her fucking ticket.
Arasaka's dark tower that looms over the city's people. In such an environment, no other life seems possible or honestly even worth pursuing. But it only holds true as long as people believe in it. Lucy does not. She's already escaped Arasaka's horrors once, and she doesn't want to just survive under...
No, not really. She's still in the city. Arasaka still has that hold on her. She's just managing to stay beneath the surface somehow in a completely surveilled environment that somehow doesn't use facial recognition CCTV. Okay.
their shadow, to live, and to most importantly, get away. She dares to...
No, you fucking idiot. She wants to get away to live. You understand the difference?
Dream beyond the neon prison she calls home. She wants to leave Night City someday, take a rocket ship and fly to the moon. Her dream...
Yeah, because look, Night City is the dungeon. It is the... what's a good comparison? Escape from New York. It is a giant prison, and the corporate overlords are just the wardens. And she wants to get out of the prison. And David helps her achieve that to the point of sacrificing his own life, instead of realizing that in the end, she would prefer to escape with him instead of just being alone on the moon. Because she looks a tad lonely up there in the end. Just a tad. Just a bit. Because it seems like a hollow win in the end. Yeah, she got out. She got to her personal idea of what paradise could be. But then that paradise is stale. Very stale. It is more quiet. She wanted the quiet of the moon. But in the end, it is too quiet. Something's missing. And she tried to tell David. She tried to warn him. But he didn't get it. The fucking bonehead. That's the tragedy. And you didn't even get it. This is really well written in that regard. And you, and good literature, seems wasted on you.
Her small and insignificant and even childish. But the point is that she has one. No other character in this entire show is capable of dreaming beyond Night City. While other characters are doomed to the tragedy of this awful fucking place, Lucy hangs on by a thread.
Wait, did she
because
censor
even though
herself
she
with a
does get
squeak?
bogged down in the dredge
Yes.
of the bloodshed and
No,
suffering,
with a
her
bad
dream
sound.
expands beyond the city's confines. One of the things that really struck me about the setting is how it is a platonic version of hell. It represents sex.
What?
Wait, what? What the fuck happened?
Platonic version of hell.
And then she mentioned sex, and I was like, wait, what?
Sex. Fuck it. Squeaky toy sound effect.
Okay, you have to refresh my mind. Did Plato write anything about hell?
You're... maybe in the context of the gods, but not specifically hell. No, I don't think so. Like he'll mention like heaven and hell, but that's like, the god, whatever Roman god or whatever Greek god they're referring to.
Plato would rather have
Like Tarsus
a Greek concept of hell. And that has not much sex in it anyway. So
I know, but platonic sex, I'm like, what the I don't know what she's talking about. What is she talking about?
Hey, we are talking with a fruit bat, so
Yeah.
the cake isn't
Without
far
bodies.
away.
It's without bodies. It is food without sustenance. It is pleasure without feeling or purpose.
Pleasure without feeling. That I don't even know what she's talking about.
I think she means sedation.
Scratching without scraping. Blowing without sucking.
I think she is incapable of articulating that she means sedation.
So
That
it's
is
hell.
pleasure. That's I think that's the closest thing of what she might have meant with pleasure without feeling.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes they mention it being like a electronic purgatory, or like this, you're in this sort of moment of life when you're in a cybernetic city or cyberpunk city that is, sometimes it's in space where literally everything's frozen, or Sometimes you're underneath the earth because the earth is all ruined. So there's lots of settings that have this concept of the underworld, or
You mean like a progressive limbo?
You could use those terms. I don't know.
I'm just trying to make up contradictory nonsense.
No, I mean,
It's just as much an oxymoron as what she just.
she's trying, but you're like, okay, honey, you're not very good at this. I wish I could explain what you're trying to say, but I'm like, I don't know where you're going with this.
Buy a thesaurus.
Without
I have
trust.
3.
It is the light that shows you everything is just a shadow of what you imagined it to be. In these scenes, for example, David and Lucy are literally naked and sitting next to each other, and yet they could not be further apart.
Oh, but you
They
can
are
tell they
allegedly in a
No.
relationship, but they are total strangers.
No, they're not. What the fuck are you talking about? They are just they're so comfortable with each other that they can be like that with each other and have casual conversation. You know, like mature people, like adults. I don't know what you are like,
Has,
but you know, when mature people who are comfortable with each other, who have been intimate with each other, they don't just get madly sexual just for seeing each other naked or sitting naked next to each other, because they already know what that is.
Yeah,
They've already done the thing, you know.
It's kind of
They're
like
just it's
she's
it's a mundane thing.
never had a relationship where she was intimate with someone, and she's like, well, clearly they're not intimate because they're naked and they're not doing anything. It's like,
yeah, this rather shows how close they are with each other. They're not apart. They have a wonderful deep conversation where they're connecting, they are already connected. The thing is, that she doesn't understand this shows me that not just as you say, not have a relationship like that. Rather, I would say she might have had that, but she's never developed to the point where she, during even an intimate moment with each other, can talk about casual things. Because, you know, people do that.
yeah, I think this is
That's probably one of the. Sorry that I keep on rolling. I think it was in Fragile Things where Neil Gaiman.
oh, there you go.
There's a shitty story in there, and most of the others are pretty. And that's mainly just because of Neil Gaiman's misunderstanding of the topic. But he managed to write, and this was his intention, to actually write an erotica story where the married couple had a casual conversation during sex, because that he wanted to get this across as he wanted to write a natural, developed sexual relationship. Because he always wondered why aren't people writing believable sex scenes in stories, in books, in film, and so he did that. And this is something similar to that. They don't need sexual interaction for this. They're a comfortable couple. And our fruit bat here is embarrassed, apparently.
Yeah, I think this is a
Grow
case
up.
of children or people in general should not be analyzing things they don't understand, because this is bizarre. This is like listening to a child.
Well, yeah, because she she might be well into her 30s, but emotionally she's not developed to her age.
I don't get why she censored the boobs, but not the butt here. You know.
Oh yeah. Anyway, we're gonna go for another. I don't know. Real time.
We're right there, Smud.
This is so
Smud,
dumb.
She's come on. It's 7 minutes.
Come
She's
on.
about to give us why Cyberpunk is not Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
We're in the home
yeah.
stretch. We may have not got to the home stretch for the previous video, but god damn it, we have it right here.
Oh god.
Come on.
Very hopeful. More hopeful than I am, but okay.
Neither knows what the other is thinking or even doing. David keeps his mother's ashes as a reminder of her lesson to him. Gloria worked tirelessly and died trying to give him a...
No, that's part of it. He keeps her ashes because it's all he has left of her beside the jacket. It's her remains. There's her literal ashes in there. You keep the ashes of someone because you know where else they're gonna go in Night City. They're gonna go into the trash. You know what happens if you give that away to some cemetery? Well, if you can't pay the monthly fee anymore, trash. Because space is limited.
All right.
Everything's a service. That's the problem.
Let's go.
So he keeps it on the fucking table.
Future. Once David becomes a merc, he works tirelessly to help Lucy's dream come true, to the point of risking his own life and dying so she can leave Night City and follow that dream. Lucy almost fell prey to the same thing. She became bound to the messed up samsara of the city through her relationship with David. David removed himself from the equation.
That's a very specific term, but okay.
The hell does that word mean? Could someone look that one up?
Samsara is the wheel of suffering, the wheel of rebirth, of death and rebirth in Buddhism. So she's just referring to it's just eternal. Night City is just eternal suffering.
Yeah, it's if you read the Tibetan Book of the Dead, you'll talk about that. But it's I get this feeling that she attended university in first year and just quit.
No,
and she just has like books that she sort of.
No, she's just a pseudo intellectual who with esoteric tendencies, like most women.
They went for a European vacation and ate a sandwich and went to a church once. Okay.
She went to India, went to a sex cult for a month, and then came back.
Wow.
Happens.
That's
with or without strings.
Anyway, 15 minutes in. I want to stop, but anyway.
Destructive and truly tragic way, and the concussive force of that trauma wrenched her free enough to escape on that dream. After all, it was all she had in the end.
Look how happy she is.
Put her in a place very similar to where she started. Although this time, as an adult woman, with more wounding and the capacity to physically walk away. Something most people don't get to do after meeting Night City's boogeyman.
My business is with the kid.
Night City is ruled by a billionaire megacorporation that requires a steady stream of human sacrifices and dark bargains to sustain its power. The city is like a monster, gorging itself on the blood of its people.
It doesn't need it. It's just easy money.
The blood of its people. All those within its jaws are doomed, herded by the city's avatar, destroyer of men, Atom Smasher. Though it may seem simple at first, the name Atom Smasher literally translates to destroyer of men, or man killer. Adam being the biblical name of the first man, and Smasher is a person or device that breaks and destroys things. It is the perfect name for the legendary boogeyman of Night City. Atom Smasher is the physical, human-ish embodiment of Night City. Unwavering, uncaring, and evil to the core.
Not evil. Not evil.
I'd argue he's a pushover in the video game.
That aside, evil is not what he is. He is just there for himself. And the thing is, what makes him so inhuman is that there is the hinted in the show that he doesn't even have a human brain anymore. That he is an actual mind upload. So he is basically just a robot. And all he's interested in is an interesting fight. He doesn't care about all the small fry. That's why everybody believes him to not even exist.
Okay.
And many people don't even know he exists.
He is Borg. His body is 98% cybernetic, and whatever empathy or humanity he had to begin with, probably not much, has been totally lost, replaced with a deep, adrenaline-fueled lust for violence, destruction, and murder. Calling him human is a stretch to begin with. The guy's a fucking monster. He doesn't know David. He doesn't care about David.
If you use your horrible bat sound that is cutting into my skull, then at least make it so that you don't say the word fuck, that I can't hear it. So you say the word and give me the fucking headache. You're an assault on people. Because you know what? This on people like me is like giving me flashing screen lights.
Well, I think you need more sleep.
This is what's giving some people, migraines.
Well, we could stop right now. That's okay. I mean, you could.
No,
we're right there.
you are trapped here in Samsara with us.
Smud, you were right there. We're right there.
All right, let's get going.
He is here to kill David, not because of some personal grudge, but because he craves violence. He describes people as meat, and Smasher is a meat.
No, he's in for an interesting fight. And David has the implant that was meant for him. There's a connection, and he finds it interesting.
Grinder.
All the same meat to me. I'll slaughter each and every one of you. None leave the slaughterhouse. Not alive.
Adam Smasher lacks all empathy and is fueled by pure bloodlust. Bringing it back to that old Bible story, David and Goliath, about a small, scrappy peasant who in the place of a cowardly king challenges the monstrously huge warrior Goliath to single combat. And using a sling and a rock, David is able to defeat Goliath and claim the king.
Oh, how's that play out here?
Yeah, that worked really well for David, didn't it?
Oh, the tiny little pebble fucking should have killed this guy. It worked for Goliath. It should work for Adam Smasher, right?
Aha.
Similarly, David Martinez was a small, scrappy kid living in poverty. And I don't know about you, but Adam Smasher sure seems like a Goliath in this story to me. Only this time, God isn't on David's side. Smasher killed.
Yeah, that's also because David is not actually a David anymore. He has a super mecha suit that is bigger than Adam Smasher. It kind of destroys the analogy, doesn't it?
It's
that
fucking...
that puts Adam Smasher into the position of David, and makes David the Goliath.
No, Wisp. It's like if fucking David strolled up to Goliath, but now he's just rocking a new body. He's just he's twice the size of Goliath now, and now it's just Goliath looks at him. It's like, nice armor, and then he proceeds to rip him in pieces.
It's David in the mecha suit.
David's just in a fucking. He's on 2 boxes. All right, that's what he is to Adam Smasher. Nice boxes. Can I break them?
David. The city kills a man. The city keeps moving, unaware and uncaring of anything to do with David or his friend's sacrifices.
Yes, Nicola Gon in the chat is correct. This is the stupid sacrifice part of David. He did manage to enable Lucy to get away. Yes. So that is his goal fulfilled. But that is what makes the story tragic. There's no happy ending. Lucy on the moon is not happy. She's melancholic.
David doesn't die a hero. He doesn't even die a legend. He just dies.
He does die
All
a
his
hero.
friends, they die too. Night City shrugs and moves on.
Being a hero doesn't entail being remembered or noticed.
I mean, Kiwi wasn't a hero. She was a dirty traitor, but that thing aside.
Most heroes who don't even know exist.
By the time of Cyberpunk 2077, less than a year later, David and his crew, with one exception, are all dead and long forgotten. The tokens of legacy that David left behind are his jacket and a drink named after him at the afterlife. Having a drink named after you isn't immortality.
Yes, it is.
That's pretty good, actually. I mean, it's not the best thing to be remembered by, but if you had a drink named after you, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, look at Marcus Aurelius. They replaced his statues with a statue of Peter, the fucking degenerate.
Who's Peter?
The Bible guy.
For the dreamer.
Cyberpunk as a genre is about spitting in the face of authority and fighting back against the capitalist system built to crush the human spirit.
I thought it was about sacrifices.
That's not really Cyberpunk as a genre. I mean, it's
not
big.
It's not the intention to crush the human spirit.
Yeah, I mean, it's not about individuals fighting against society or the machine. You could tell a story about that specifically, But no, that's not. I mean, there's so much going on in these stories. In Neuromancer, even the movie versions of Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? It's like that's not even a book.
They're about the human condition.
Yeah, well, most science fiction, yeah, but this is such a
Cyberpunk especially is about the human condition more than any of this corporatist garbage.
Yeah, what would happen in the future if we went this way? If we went to human augmentation? If China and Japan were so influential? If we all started learning these programming techniques? It's part of talking essentially. It's basically learning a new language. Like this would all be theorized, and then what would happen to humanity and our relationships? That's one premise of an idea of cyberpunk. And then you read the actual, like I don't know, Neuromancer or whatever book you want. That is forgotten within the next paragraph because there's so much going on. There's so much information. There's so many cool things that freak you out and make you imagine that world.
Neuromancer is one of those books where you take a break, not because you're out of time or you can't concentrate on anymore, but just to let an idea that the book gave you, an impression, linger, and just let it unfold itself in your mind. That is how you know it's good writing.
Yeah,
it has good ideas and how it is philosophy.
With I don't know if you guys have read Neil Stephenson's Snow Crash, but you'll probably enjoy it or get into it easier than Neuromancer just because it's so referential. And you're like, the guy's main character's name is Hero Protagonist. Okay. So, it's pretty referential.
No, I would still say start with Neuromancer because it was the first book of the genre.
Yeah.
And it has the best line to start any story in human history, even though its end fizzles out because Gibson didn't really have the drive to finish the story anymore. But the beginning is absolutely beautiful. As in that part, that is masterpiece stuff. Read Neuromancer. And they've been trying to make a movie for 30 years.
Yeah, they can't do it. You can't.
That's been in talk and preparation for 30 fucking years, and it never happened because the stars were never right.
No,
and I think that is good.
No, there's certain, like, even Dune. When you read Dune, your brain was like, "This is impossible. You can never."
You cannot make that.
Properly put it to screen, and I've seen it tried 3 times. It never got it.
3 times?
Yeah. The 78 version, the late 90 version, or early 2000 version.
Oh, the show, you mean?
Well, the Children of Dune series, which was fine.
It did start with the original story, the first one.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, for what it did, it was like, oh, it did it. It's an homage to the movie, but it did its own thing. And then
I only saw I only vaguely remember it because it only ran once on German TV, and I only saw like 1 episode. But it was the one where the Hunter Seeker was coming up. That was done well. That was relatively close to the book.
Yep. I mean, you can do specific scenes, but as a whole, it's like trying to turn Game of or Song of Ice and Fire.
And they even integrated the designs from the Dune 2000 game from Westwood. Yeah, they had the wind traps were the designs of that game.
That's cool.
And some of those things. So that was actually interesting. But the thing with Dune is, yes, you can make the visuals right. Yes, you can retell the events of the story right. But what you will always fail on screen, on a stage play, is like maybe less on a stage play, because on a stage play you have monologue, internal monologue of characters. I'm sorry, I don't know, but the Discord is blinking weirdly. Maybe I'm too far away from the microphone. In a stage play, you have internal monologues of the characters at times, so that could work for Dune. But in a movie adaptation, I don't think it ever will, because most of Dune, when you read Dune, it is less about this chain of events and the scenery. It is about the exploration of human consciousness, and that can only be done between the dialogue and all these lore bits that are in there, because Frank Herbert doesn't use chapter numbers or chapter titles. He just write in cursive, in italics. He writes a lore bit from some fictional book, and there's tons of different ones from different authors from within the world of Dune, within the universe of Dune, from usually the future of what is currently happening, and that it is effectively what Frank Herbert did was the same thing that Robert Heinlein did with science fiction, is that he didn't write science fiction to write science fiction. He wrote science fiction in order to put his personal philosophy and gathered wisdom into a story so that it would actually be read by normal people with what actual bland, direct philosophy books aren't. That is why Starship Troopers survives to this day, and Dune survives to this day, and Aristoteles and Socrates don't. That the old Greeks are only read by people who want to read the old Greeks. Marcus Aurelius is only read by people who want to read the Romans. But these are philosophers of the last century that we still read, because we see them adapted over and over again because they wrote stories.
Yeah, if you actually go through like a summary, or I can just go to Wikipedia, I assume, and look up Neuromancer or Snow Crash, and they'll give you the point-by-point plot summary, I'm sure. But if they try to describe the themes, there's just too many. There's just so much going on. So to say it's about this or that is kind of missing the point, because so much is happening every chapter. Like they're going to space one chapter. It's like, whoa, holy shit, there's a space station. And there's another cybernetic city in space. You're like, oh shit, what is that all about? So it's not just about space travel. It's not just about cybernetics. It's philosophy, it's religion, it's computers, it's politics, it's all kinds of things. So I don't like reducing space opera or these parent genres that are so broad to like, oh, it's all about humanity versus themselves or something. And technology's in there somehow. It's like, no, you're missing the whole point. And to use that sort of explanation is also what a reader of the actual stories would never do. At least I don't think they would. Yeah. They would try. They would try to summarize, but they can never actually do it effectively.
I think Jay Jameson in the chat has a point. Dune as an anime could work because anime is good at handling internal monologue.
I don't know. It would be
more likely than other things, because you have a lot of these
it is
quiet landscape shots where you have the internal monologue of characters. It is a natural tool they use.
I was thinking closer like 2001 Space Odyssey. There's lots of scenes that just don't really. It's all cinema. It's all visual essentially. They're trying to show you this plane they're on, or this space station they're on, or whatever the first 10 minutes was. It's just like, what's going on in this monolith thing? Like, it's all visual. So that could work pretty well. I understand, because there's so many visuals in Dune, and even the set.
Yeah, but the philosophy of Dune cannot be expressed in only visuals. I think, in that sense, even though Jodorowsky had a completely skewed idea of Dune, his idea of showing all these other parts of the history of the Dune galaxy and these other places, that was the right idea, because that's the way by which you put those philosophical bits into it, like the musings and realization of Paul Atreides and the origin and thoughts of the rebirthed Duncan Idaho. It is all references to other philosophy. and other problems of humanity and existence.
Yeah,
so you tell those side stories. You tell those parallel stories.
Okay, if you want to do side stories, that would work. But like stuff like Leto II, like once he starts foreseeing the future, it's like this is too psychedelic. You can't just film that. You'd have to like have some weird philosophy.
It's
monologue.
It's similar to the never-ending story getting into the overall second act after the rebirth of Fantasia, where it's the main character riding riding on a lion through a desert of differently colored dunes of sand, and it's all mental.
All right.
And yes, Steven Universe stole from that.
Okay.
Yes.
Anyway, let's keep going.
And love and the struggle to stay human in a world that tries to force you to be anything but. It is about people craving real connection in a cold, uncaring digital world. It is about waking up. Corporate dystopia is about how we lose ourselves to its will.
Man, you should never live in the depths of Africa and have to fight for your survival and hunt food to survive, because man, that is a harsh world. If you don't put in the work, you're just gonna die.
The story
and the jungle is probably just gonna kill you with poison, and something else is gonna eat you. This is just a concrete jungle with neon lights on it.
Can you imagine summarizing Night City as a place to wake up? Like, okay, sure, that's clearly the politics of the day. I think they have other problems aside from social norms, outside of like, is this implant going to kill me tomorrow? Oy. Can we take our head out of our ass for like 2 seconds, lady, and just focus on the narrative? That'd be great.
Full fragmentation, how we submit our bodies and dreams to a story handed down by a fist. It is how we stay asleep.
Wait,
a better world is only possible if we are alive to imagine it. This is why Edge Runners is a valuable piece of science fiction. We have lived through almost an entire generation of speculative fiction that cannot imagine.
Dread 2012.
Dread had a happy ending, I think.
I mean, it's a good film, but it's not. Yeah, it's a good film, but it's not like some philosophical piece of like, science fiction.
Brazil, and Brazil was only in the widest sense science fiction. It was. I'd say no. It wasn't. It was not science fiction. It was not cyberpunk. It was just dystopian. It was as much science fiction as 1984 was.
A bit of some dark comedy in there as well.
Yes. The whole opening joke was that, and the visitation by Mario and Luigi.
The death by shit.
It's a dark comedy film, but there's a lot going on. People love, all the filmgoers love Brazil. They love, what's that? The Ninth Dimension crap. What the hell is that movie called?
I was fooled by the goddamn ending.
Ninth Dimension?
What the hell is that called?
Oh, don't give me that
Buckaroo Banzai.
Bagaloo.
Buckaroo Banzai.
I watched that. That was not great.
I'm just listing
that
the
was
stuff.
Strange.
Yeah, the stuff that I remember in I didn't go to film school, but I went to the Fine Arts Building, and people would say Brazil, Buckaroo Banzai, and all these other things. It's like, okay.
Not even remotely. Buckaroo Banzai? Come on. It had an interesting cast. I was surprised by that.
Yeah, I know.
But
anyway.
No, that was not a good movie.
Irrelevant. Let's just keep going.
Happy. We have come a very long and genuinely sad way from speculative fiction along the lines of Star Trek, for example.
Okay, first off, Star Trek is not the be-all, end-all of science fiction. It's just mainstream television that used Roddenberry stuff from the 60s and then transformed itself into something else and then became its own corporate thing that no one cares about anymore.
It's the most bland normie science fiction, and I say that as a Trekkie.
Yeah, and people think that reading Star Trek novellas in the 90s was like science fiction. You got to be kidding me.
Oh.
It's mainstream, watered down, 45-minute hour adventures. That's it.
Horror in the widest sense. Like,
I'm not trying to downplay Star Trek. Say it's bad, but is it science fiction? It
is a staple of science fiction.
Sure.
But it's very, if we're being really honest, it's very lukewarm.
Audience could
honestly,
imagine the space age and technology and exploration as being something hopeful. That perhaps by the space age, we will have learned from our mistakes, grown past.
Yeah, okay. If we live in a world where
we didn't.
all of our basic needs are met, where we have no requirements for like surviving, and there's no money, and there's no poverty, and everything's been eliminated, then
and then in Voyager we reintroduce all of, and DS9 we reintroduce all of that.
Yeah, if you solve all the problems that we have today, then we'd all be a little happier, and we want to explore the universe and learn and grow as a person, because that's all we'd have left to do.
Yeah, and then suddenly replicators depend on this rare resource of dilithium crystals, which are really hard to get. And our Starfleet officers have a pension again, and that changes depending on their performance and rank. So suddenly all of those great things are gone, and we're all back to the normal shit. As well as corruption in the Federation.
Like institutional racism amongst our own people. That wonderful technology could be of benefit to everyone, and we'd be working on growing in empathy and understanding for each other and our planet. That has not happened. Economic.
Why would it happen?
You didn't get empathy?
Why would that happen, honey? We're talking about science fiction.
Your naivety. Your problem is that you are completely naive.
Why would
empathy for everyone just means that the narcissists and psychopaths that are still out there, they still exist, will only exploit you, and you are handing the reins of the world over to them.
Yeah, but why would
they will not change through your kindness and love.
Why?
They will think, oh, it's another one of those naive idiots I can exploit, and they will keep giving me chances on chances. It's gonna be another sweet fest, because those are the actual bats who suck your blood.
Why would you assume a story from a guy in the 60s, which is set in the 23rd century, is not yet here? Like, why would you even say that? Like, that is the dumb... We're not as good as we could have been in the world of Star Trek, where all of our basic needs are solved, and we're all kind, and we eliminated all these problems. Like, gee, I wonder why.
We still have scarcity.
Yeah, we still have needs, and we have to... figure out which food to eat, or else we might hurt ourselves. Or it's like, people don't live to 150 yet.
Yeah, we don't have replicators.
We don't have the cure to the common cold and walking yet. Like, what are you talking about, lady?
We never will, and that's okay. Because if we didn't, if we had the cure to the common cold, our immune systems would probably just go bonkers from having nothing to do, or go so stale that some other stupid disease will just kill us all.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with the common cold.
And this
I'm totally okay with that.
This scene is from The Big Short, so I don't know what she's talking about. Why is she bringing up money? So
she's just jealous of people richer than herself.
I don't know. She said some dumb shit.
People richer than me are not giving me their money out of the empire.
She said some dumb shit so far. Now she's like, why isn't Star Trek now? It's like, oh, fuck me. Why are we
isn't now?
This is silly.
Because we don't have replicators, and we don't have dilithium crystals to fuel.
Yeah, we don't have an infinite energy source. I'm sorry, honey.
We don't have teleporters, and we don't have warp drives.
Yeah, it's kind of how it goes.
Instead of complaining about we not having that, you could get a degree in STEM and start working on developing it. We don't even have fusion yet. We don't have a fusion energy generator. That would solve a lot of problems.
Well, we
must condemn nuclear energy.
We probably won't have it for another 100 years or so at the rate they're going.
Yeah, and it's because of fruit bats like her.
Okay. Anyway.
Misery, the global effects of imperialism, war, fate.
The what? The global
imperialism. I thought it was capitalism.
Wait a second.
Look,
So wait, when Britain sailed the oceans and conquered all these countries, now we're having problems still?
Okay. So you're not blaming the Muslim empire in Saudi Arabia. You're not blaming the Chinese empires that were waxing and waning and currently is under completely tyrannical rule. You're not blaming the Aztec empire that was sacrificing children alive by carving out their hearts in order to change the weather, which didn't really work out. You're not blaming the Zulu empire in Africa that was draining it was draining in a way, that was murdering and enslaving all the other tribes around it. You are not blaming anything in the north of Africa that wasn't as black as you might want to make it out to be. There was actually quite a lot of wealth up there. There were its own empires. No. It's all just Europe. Apparently not Spain and Portugal. The Portuguese, which ran most of the slave trade between Africa and the Americas. Strangely, they don't have any of the money piled up on them. This is a really, really bad picture. Poorleap.org.uk is a horrible political caricaturist.
Yeah.
A fucking propagandist. A fucking idiotic socialist.
And I want to know...
Although that's redundant to say, I guess.
Canada, just because it has a large landmass, where'd all that money go? I really want to know.
Apparently Florida didn't get any of it.
Yeah.
Or California.
Okay, let's just keep
going.
Oh,
man.
Imperialism, war, fading facades have made it really hard to imagine goodness. The benefit of the doubt is seen as foolishness and how...
Okay, who are the good and bad guys in the Israel-Palestine picture?
Oh, let's not...
You really have to tell me, because I am completely confused at this point.
I don't want to know.
Because the left has always told me, like, oh, we need to protect the Jews, and now they're all on the side of the murderous, genocidal Islamists. It's confusing. I please tell me what to think. I don't know anymore. The left has confused me. I don't know. Are the Jews the good guys or the bad guys? I don't know. Do we need to protect them? I'm German. I need to know this even more importantly. Do I need to get the old uniform out, or do I need to keep burning it? I don't know.
All right.
The left is confusing me. Like, what is going on?
Well, in Canada, we serve Tim Hortons to our protesters these days, so I'm confused too.
Do we need to make dents into the Iron Cross again? Like, I don't know. The left is just confusing. It's
all right. Okay.
I need help.
How could it not be? The 90s has also given rise to a whole era of uniquely dark stories, and post 9/11, fiction has taken on a very pre-World War II vibe of everything is terrible and
You're an idiot.
Shaun of the Dead is a comedy, though.
You're a complete idiot. Making a remake of War of the Worlds?
Yeah, that's
a little bit of Iron Man being a Lord of War. Because there's a scene in Iron Man that is a homage to Lord of War right there, where Tony Stark is selling the rockets. Shaun of the Dead is a comedy. You numbnut. You put this on 9/11 in 2001. You have missed the best movies of 1999 that are all very dark and very amazing, like The 13th Floor and Dark City. Some of the best dark science fiction movies ever made that outdo Matrix by a long shot.
Well, I don't
because they actually make sense.
I don't think this has anything to do with 9/11. She just brought it up because she thought
9/11.
She's an idiot. She said it because she thought this is that, because she doesn't, like, from the little knowledge that she has, she can't even put that into the right context and order. If she knew more, she wouldn't be capable of more anyway.
All right, let's keep going.
We're right there.
All right.
Stories and even humor are dominated by fears of the apocalypse, helpless laughter in the face of impending doom, nihilism, and what feels like the inevitable tragedy.
Impending doom in WALL-E?
Don't look up.
She needs an exterminatus.
Wait, those cookies are chicken nuggets.
I'm going to go with cookies because they're drinking tea.
They're chicken cookies?
No.
Fuck it, I'll call them Chookie Nuggies.
Tragedy of 1,000 years of human failures. Much of the last decade has fixated on things like zombies.
What, like
So has the
not bringing the
70s.
Crusades to a proper end?
Where do you think the genre started? Zombies because Walking Dead.
1,000 years of failure. Who did you want to win?
Yeah, which culture
who did you
failed?
want to win?
Yeah, who killed
Did you
who?
want the Ottoman Empire to win? Man, you would not even think about feminism because it would have been driven out of you from 6 years old when the headscarf was first put on you.
Yeah, how about the Huns? They were pretty good, weren't they? We like the Huns. All kinds of great, wonderful civilizations the past 1,000 years that were killed off.
Yeah, good riddance. Attila killed Sigurd.
Bloody
asshole.
Where is she going with this? I'm like,
9/11.
9/11.
Walking Dead. Shaun of the Dead. Shaun the Sheep.
Oh, God.
Our collapse is inevitable because of the fragility of our systems, with corporate dystopia trying to exploit and monetize every second of our lives and every
second
of our lives.
Everything seconds. Oh my God, honey. What are you getting angry at? Facebook. Don't use it. Done.
What you need is 40 years under the boot of socialism stomping on your face.
I can't wait to log into Facebook after that. Oh no!
Second.
They're getting my data every second. Oh my God! Just don't log in. Stop tuning.
Don't have a Facebook account.
Stop watching movies.
They're going to gather your data anyway.
Yeah, stop using using Netflix.
You reduce that by not using it.
Stop buying coffee. There's lots of stuff you could do or not do.
Don't agree to cookies. Don't take cookies. Cookies are only handed out by strangers who want to get you into their creepy van.
Like they want to take blood.
And they're 150 trusted partners.
Don't trust the Chookie Nuggies.
All right. 3 minutes left.
iota of information about us. It feels impossible not to buckle under what feels like the
go cry. That's great.
miserable, inescapable pointlessness of it all.
What the hell? Why is Trump there?
You blame that on Trump?
How did we get to Trump?
The whole tech tyranny is being embraced by the Democrats.
What is the CA?
Who are really socialists. Trump stood against that.
How do we
brainwashed brainlet.
How did we get from doing a survey to whatever CA is and then Trump? Like what is?
I don't know. California?
Canadian Airlines? I don't know what the fuck. What the hell is going on with this video?
Smud. It's post-Trump, post-Sit-Head. California post-hyper communist capitalist, whatever the fuck.
I'm telling you, the fruit bat needs some protein so that her brain starts working.
Oh God, where are we going? We're not even the 2 minute mark. We're still going.
I should have kept my socialist tyranny rant until now.
Oh no,
because this is where it fits.
This is bonkers. I don't know
it's them who want to know everything about you to totally control you, so that they can even control your thoughts, so that you will only think the right things.
All right.
Only the politically correct things.
Let's
term that comes from the Soviet Union.
Let's just get through this.
You bloody idiot.
Is dominated by the struggle against dystopia to tragic and hopeless ends. It all becomes too big to beat, even
that's
in
all
our
socialism.
minds. But by focusing so heavily on these things to the exclusion of anything else for whatever reason, we rob speculative fiction and the imagination of its power to live.
What? No, we don't. We do not rob the writer of doing their job of writing speculative fiction unless you don't read it. And if you don't read it, you have no idea what you're talking about, which is pretty much this video. Something is not connecting here. She's making shit up, and this is getting silly. Like, this was already silly.
She's just living in her imagined world where the socialist utopia is is the way out, even though she put up this meme of the left and right both leading to destruction. I don't think she truly understands that because she doesn't know what the left truly stands for.
Always gets bad shit at the end of these videos.
Yeah, and that's not a defense of what these people think the right is, because that's just as much a lie. But, yeah, keep stay in your trap. Stay in your little mind trap.
Rate us circumstances and fashions. Climate scientists and activists of
who fucking cares? No one forgot.
We went from Trump now to climate. This is.
Oh my god! Boo!
Let me guess. Let me guess.
Everything in German mainstream media, and that's big newspapers, really, really big ones. Most of them left wing. They are blaming absolutely everything on climate change. Things that absolutely don't make sense.
I'm going to assume she's...
Like a bunch of Muslims raiding Christian villages in Nigeria. They blame on those are land disputes because of climate change. Nothing to do with religion. No.
Well,
you see, I had to behead that person because it was in the name of climate change.
The climate pressured me into it.
He was radiating with carbon dioxide leaking.
I'm going to assume she is scared of climate change, and if we don't stop our eating of meats or whatever, then the world's going to end like tomorrow. Like, this is what I'm assuming, but we don't know yet. We'll find out.
Yeah, so this is 200 frauds. Great.
Okay, here we go.
All kinds warn very heavily against giving into despair. It produces apathy. It shrinks the worldview to the point.
Okay, so she's no, don't worry. It's don't think negatively. It's good. I was expecting something different. Okay, good stuff.
Okay. Where you can't do anything because everything has been established as a lost cause. But you can't have something like Solarpunk without the ability to give something the benefit of the doubt. All things, including a better future, are only possible because someone imagined that they could be.
Solar is a fraudulent tech, by the way. It doesn't work on the level that you want, and currently it still only produces special trash that we can't recycle. It also requires tons of coal in order to produce, and rare earths that we have to mine, just the same as we have to mine everything else. It just doesn't stink where it stands. That's all. It just doesn't stink where you are. That's the entire difference. You are led astray by the visuals that you can perceive. You're not looking behind the veil. Sorry, go on.
No, I was just asking, who the hell is this on screen?
She's about to say this.
Well, there's always advancements in technology. So the past year we've had, was it perovskite solar cells? There's also now new products coming out. I'm just saying this is natural. Energy sectors are always going to compete, and new technology is going to be found out. So yes,
yeah, but solar and wind is still not doing that with what all these activists promise to us.
Oh no, I'm not saying it's in defense of that. I'm just saying that it is getting better, but everything's getting better, not just solar.
Yes, coal is getting better because technically we can build coal power plants that filter out everything.
Yeah, we do.
And man, do we get a lot of rare earths from the sludge?
Yeah,
when we recycle
the
that.
scrubbers we had in the 90s are still getting improved upon. And
yeah, I mean, in people laugh that Germany went back to coal, but dude, our coal plants have very good filters, and we basically, can I say mine? We get about, what was it? There was numbers from 2011, I believe, where we got... it was either 4.7 or 7.4. I'm sorry, I get this mixed up. Let's go with the lesser number. 4.7 tons of uranium from recycled coal power plant sludge. And that's just uranium. All of these other rare shit we also get out of that. That stuff has been fueling our nuclear power plants. That is actually a way on how you get rare materials. Don't just write it off as, you're just putting the atmosphere.
Right. I think we're almost at the 2-minute mark.
Come on, we're so close.
Future are only possible because someone imagined that they could be. To quote Ursula K. Le Guin,
Okay.
we live in capitalism. Its power seems inescapable. But then, so did the divine right of kings. Cyberpunk and corporate
So she's a communist, yeah?
Wait, hold on.
You are a leftist. You want us to run into the meat grinder.
She's a pretty decent, if not fantastic writer, depending on the genre you like. But
what's the name of the writer again?
Ursula K. Le Guin.
I have never heard of her.
Really?
But you can say the same thing about names. Who wrote The Alchemist?
I'm trying to remember, actually.
See, this is one of these things where the moment you want to think of it, you know the name, and then in that moment.
Yeah, The Alchemist is one of those classic books that you either have read and everyone knew about it when you were a kid, or you've never read it and no one knows what you're talking about.
Yeah, but the author was also a raging communist. Doesn't mean that he can't write.
Yeah.
Many people are just misguided, or they don't understand what the ideology fully entails. That is why Carl Vonnegut was able to write the story Harrison Bergeron, which perfectly illustrated the folly and detriment of the communist obsession with making everyone equal, and that turning into a complete dystopian tyranny of that just destroys everyone and everything. But he still remained a socialist because he didn't put two and two together, understanding that is what socialism actually is and will always strive. He still believed in the advertisement poster that, real socialism is actually a nice thing that doesn't do this totally at all, ever. But no. The dystopian story Carl Vonnegut wrote, that is the actual thing. He just didn't understand that.
Yeah, it's the same with Neil Gaiman, Harlan Ellison. They're great writers. I just don't listen to their politics because why would I? I don't need to. They do a job, and that job is writing, and they do it well, and that's all I care about. So
that's the amazing thing is an artist can capture the essence of a thing and put that out, even if as a critique, while not realizing that is the true face of the thing he still worships.
Interesting. Okay. We are almost at the 2-minute mark. It's been pretty I wouldn't say bonkers, just dumb getting to this point. So we're gonna see if it goes crazier.
Come on, the crazy 2 minutes are now. I think she's already entered the crazy 2.
Yeah, I know. 3 minutes ago, but yeah, okay.
Dystopia and genres don't tell us anything about our futures, but serve as mirrors to tell us about our own present. Our world today is a suffering capitalist hellscape. We are living in
suffering capitalist.
Well, I mean, that's like 6 seconds after the 2-minute mark. I think
6 seconds.
She needs that boot to the face.
Wow, guys, we are in hell. Did you know that? It's hell. First world countries and amazing metropolises where you can make $100,000
that can afford to have healthcare systems.
Yeah, like Canada.
Okay. 30, 40 years back, would you rather have had the healthcare system of West Germany or East Germany?
Oh, jeez. Don't answer that. Trick question. Anyway.
It's not.
Anyway.
Come on, we're right there.
We can stop. We're good. Like, this is
No.
Now it's the nitro part. This is what people come here for.
Oh God, why? This is horrible.
We're almost finished. We're right there.
Oh God. Okay, let's continue the hellscape. Here we go.
Dystopia right now. Whether
yeah, we're in dystopia, guys. We're in 1984. Big Brother's watching you. Okay.
or not we are capable of committing to a cyberpunk future is up in the air. Radical kindness.
Why would we commit to a
radical empathy? Oh, you mean subject yourself to the exploiting, borderline tyrannical asshole that just manipulates you? Go stay in your narcissistic relationship, you bloody doormat.
How do we get from 2024 to cyberpunk? Like, why are we committing ourselves to some bizarre future that is theoretical? What are you talking about?
Radical empathy is a fake term.
Well, yeah, but
that's something that abusers want from you.
I don't think I'll live.
You want to be exploited.
I don't think I'll live, or I'll see my children live to see the radical. What is it? cyberpunk radical empathy world. Like, I don't know what she's talking about. It's not something I'm considering. I want to pay the bills. That's my job. Okay, I don't want to worry about nanotechnology or any other crazy evolution of humanity. I'm pretty normal with my 2 arms and legs, and that's about it. I'm good. So
The more you know about tech, the less you want it.
Yeah, I'm happy with real beer as opposed to, wine coolers or whatever the heck they're making these days at the beer store.
Just become a carpenter. It's something stable.
Okay. How about a blacksmith? That's stable.
Yeah. That's actually, you're gonna make stuff that is stable and just does what it's intended to. Unlike programming. Which is just occult shit that falls apart and that you don't understand a week later.
Okay.
All right. Hit play. Right there.
Radical dreams that put us on the moon. But someone had to believe leaving Earth, leaving the story, could be done in order to...
Yeah, Werner von Braun, who is falsely rendered a Nazi time. He believed in that. That's why we're on the moon.
So the space race, which almost started a war with Russia, caused us, through survival of the fittest, meaning the first to get there by both governments, is...
Through the power of
bad?
capitalism.
Yeah, pretty much America versus Russia at the time, or USSR. We got to the moon there, honey, because of that, and in spite of that, not some. I don't know. What did she say? Compassion.
It was not corporatism that brought us there, because corporatism, that was the Soviet Union.
Wasn't there?
They didn't make it.
Wasn't there a president who said, "I had a dream"? One time, and that was part of his speech to go to the moon and do other things.
Wasn't that MLK with the dream?
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, that was the same time period. Yeah. Wow,
So many
60s.
dreams.
60s were amazing with dreams, and we got to the moon.
Dreams and visions,
Yeah.
but not psychotic ones.
Apparently, Elon Musk is evil because he also wants to go to the moon and go to space and do it for cheap
Yeah, but he wants to do it with his company.
and make some profit, which NASA ends up using anyway because they can't make it themselves anymore. They got to use
Because they don't get the money.
Yeah. The space program's done. There's no more shuttles. It's all Elon. Well, in China. Elon in China. There you go. Anyway.
They just don't want us
Dying
to see
and
the
being
aliens on the dark
remembered is
side of the
fueled by a life of struggling to exist and finding meaning. At the end of their lives, everyone wants to be remembered.
No. Not personally.
No, not necessarily.
I don't really care.
That's just your narcissism
So much so that for
speaking.
as much as we laugh about "Witness me!"
None of these guys cares about being remembered.
This has got to be the single most feminist movie. Like when I've talked to girls and like did you see this movie? It's like, yeah, it's a good movie. I like it. Oh, isn't it so good? I was like, it's fine. It's Mad Max. It's like a Mad Max film. It's like any other Mad Max film. It's pretty good. But they have to ramble on about how strong the women are, and I'm like, oh my god, is that what you got out of it? Really?
The women destroyed the green place. They couldn't keep the garden running.
It's
they
like,
sucked at gardening. That's why the green place is gone in Mad Max.
it's a story about a
Green
guy.
place was the famous paradise that we sought in the Thunderdome.
I always make this joke. It's a story about a guy who listens to a bunch of women to drive in one place, one direction, and then go the immediate opposite direction back to where he started because a bunch of women said so. That's pretty much this movie. That's what happens. Yeah, a bunch of other stuff happens.
Oh, I forgot to turn off the stove. Let's drive back.
I want to drive all this way and then turn all the way around. It's like, why? Because a woman said so. It's like, oh.
Okay.
It's impossible not to understand how human beings can become enslaved to this desire. Everyone
It's
wants
impossible. You can never figure it out. You can't. Your brain, reality just doesn't work anymore. You just can't do it. Possible.
You know, there are people.
their lives matter.
There are people who don't like the spotlight. They don't want to be remembered because they. For it can be various reasons. One can be they know that it's fickle anyway. Like you'll be when the people die who even knew you, that memory will be gone. And if not, then it will be distorted, and they won't remember you, but but a distorted idea of you that has your name on.
Yeah, it's kind of sad that
Not
when
that-
we
yeah,
are
not-
gone,
not-
if YouTube still exists, all we have left are these videos.
I'm sorry, but you haven't really, not you, but she. She hasn't really thought about this. Maybe she never has thought about this, or she is just protecting her own desire for
I think she's running with the theme of the show and trying to explain it in a more conclusion way that's trying to make sense. And I'm just like,
But that's not what Edgerunners is about.
I think, yeah.
Isn't.
Anyway.
Their life. And they do. You matter. Your life matters. Your life matters to everyone around you, and even if you feel alone, there are...
No. There are people who want me dead. There are people who I'm completely indifferent to and don't give a shit about me. Not everyone in this world exists to recognize you.
Yeah, it's surprising how many people love and hate Trump to the point of wanting him dead because he's Trump and wanting him alive because, it's just the weirdest thing. Like, people who have nothing to do with American politics. Oh, Putin should die, and all these, what? What are you talking about? There's nothing to do with your life. You don't understand anything that's going on in the world, and you have no business telling people whether they should end their lives.
Yeah, and I care so little about you, Miss Fruitbat, that by tomorrow I will have forgotten that it was you video, or that we did this, or that we did this video. And the next time you come up on this channel because people voted for it, I will think, oh, did we cover this person? I forgot. Because you're just not important. To most people to 8 billion people on the planet, you are not important. They don't care whether you live or die, whether you lived or died. They don't care what you did. And their children won't care, and their children's children won't give a shit either. In fact, 8 billion people don't care about what most of those 8 billion people do. And that's okay. That's completely okay. What you seem to think with this radical empathy stuff is that everyone cares about everyone. And you know what? We'd go crazy even trying.
Yeah, this is that...
And we go back to being exploited by fucking assholes because there are psychopaths in this world.
That was that I was trying to get through to that gentleman who came on talking about Griffith saying there's no psyche in the world.
You just need empathy. But the lake scene, Smud.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but that Smud, you were talking with a psychopath there who loved Griffith because Griffith is a psychopath and therefore sees himself reflected in Griffith.
People have to understand emotion comes from the body. There's something that exists within your body that allows emotion and thought to be generated. It's not unlimited. It's not some ethereal magic that you have love for the world. You cannot love the world literally. You cannot have empathy for the world literally. You can have a general personality or a persona or a mentality. Say, I'm going to treat people like this if they come across me. But that doesn't mean if some guy pulls a knife and starts stabbing me, I'm going to start caring for him more because he needs more empathy to be a better person. No, I'm going to kick this guy in the balls and try to get this knife away from him so that I do not die, perhaps even killing him in the process. That would be most ideal.
That is the empathy he needs.
I mean, there's lots of scenarios where empathy is not going to help you, and to think that is naive.
Radical empathy is self-destruction.
I don't know. I don't know what radical empathy exactly is. I wish I...
Yeah, see from a different point of view or whatever.
Yeah.
She seems to like to talk in extremes and hyperlegends.
And if you guys don't know, this character I think everyone hates. Is that the idea?
Becca?
Does everyone hate Becca? Or does everyone like Becca? I can't remember what
people like Becca.
Yeah.
No, she's okay.
Yeah, okay.
She looks annoying, but she's actually a very... You could say she's a type of tsundere in a way.
I'm trying to remember the comments. I haven't watched the show yet. I watched so much anime.
Do watch it.
It's on the list, but I got to get through so much.
I'll put it up on the list. It's good.
The winter season just started, so
it's not very long.
I got to get through that. Anyway, one more minute.
care about you just for the fact that you are alive, that their lives are made better just because you are there in the present with them. The lie that death somehow makes your life more memorable is just that, a lie. You aren't remembered for how you die necessarily. You're most...
Where did that even come? Like, where is that in the story? Is that the first part of what Lucy says?
Nothing that stuck with me.
Yeah.
Nothing that's... All right, come on. We're so close.
Remembered for how you lived. And any time alive is better than being dead, because it is living dreamers who make the difference.
But who remembers them?
Is that you dream.
And any time alive is better than being dead. Okay.
And who notices? You talk about noticing that. Nobody notices that shit. Nobody notices anything.
Guys, next time you don't want to kill yourself, don't.
She lives in a delusion of her own making.
I'm trying to follow this line of thinking. Just next time you're up on a bridge and you don't...
Remember, you're a survivor. You're lucky. Come on, I'm giving you words of encouragement.
Dude, if I'm standing on the bridge and this woman comes up and starts trying to talk me into not jumping, I will take a dash to jump. Just to get away from her.
It's like, yes, homeostasis is preferable to losing all metabolic processes in your body. This is true. So keep eating, keep sleeping, keep having good bowel movements, and avoid bridges.
Bowel movement.
At all.
That's it.
Wait, no.
That's it.
Whew. That was it.
We're done.
Wait,
That
hold
was
on.
horrible.
No, we're done.
I know, but we gotta speed her. Gotta hit 0, alright? Alright, Smart.
Why? Why would you do that?
Thank you all for watching. What did you guys all think of the themes in Cyberpunk Edgerunners? Was anyone else but me surprised at how on the nose the religious naming was in this? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell to make sure that you
Oh
see all our
my
future
God.
videos. Some really cool stuff coming, including Owl House on the horizon again.
Oh,
Stay warm out there. And we will all see you in the next one. This is the Bat from Idle Spree signing off. Whee!
Oh my God.
Horrible. Grow up.
Please.
This is she sounds like a woman in her 40s who refuses to grow up.
All right.
Who's mentally still like 15.
Here's the summary of the Lego movie. An average guy living in the city gets a powerful item stuck to his back, resulting in him crossing paths with this mysterious punk named Lucy, who introduces him to a group of wacky new friends, all while they evade the authorities and fight against the gigantic mega corporation that owns the world.
Damn.
Har har. We should take the
She
entire
was called Lucy.
peninsula and push it somewhere else.
That actually happened in the show.
My knees, what did you do to me? 30th birthday, I took away your bending.
Well, you've never worked out.
Smud, how could you be reducing it to capitalism bad? Rotom, come on, you know these people. They can't stand capitalism. Well, she used 4 flavors. I don't know. 3 versions of capitalism? I can't remember what she used. I don't know.
Everything that doesn't have a hammer and sickle is not
Yeah.
is capitalism to her.
Next time, President Biden to take executive action to make it harder for Americans to access guns. Oh, yeah. That's part of the steps of communism. Me hearing about the Jude tunnels in New York.
Secret tunnel! Secret tunnel.
All right. I can't believe I brought up Captain Planet, but not once but twice in a single Smudcast. Okay. Capitalism, corporate capitalism, hyper-capitalism, capitalism run amok. Yeah, she used a few of those. Jesus on a bike. Why do all these weirdos think every businessman is Lutum Plunder? That's the guy's name from Captain Planet. That's great.
That was his name?
That's hilarious.
Luton Plunder.
Oh, dear.
I feel personally attacked by that stupid name.
Well, if you have a guy named Adam Smasher, thank you, Michael, for that beautiful name.
Which name?
Adam Smasher from Cyberpunk. So Toth, why is Toth driving a car?
How do you drive? She's blind. How does a blind one drive?
When you're dating a blind girl and she's... I don't know, what the hell is
Oh, no.
What is she doing?
No.
It's a manual.
She likes the
Smart.
stick shift.
Do you still have manual cars in Canada?
Oh yeah, we just don't buy them.
Legend of Korra is better than Avatar: The Last Airbender. Avatar: The Last Airbender.
See, Smart, that's why we look down on Canadians.
Oh, I understand. It's okay. Maybe the original animated series, but its sequel, The Legend of Korra, was the overall better show. Why? Oh, this is Screen Rant, right? It's probably Screen Rant.
Screen Rant. And it just says, sorry, I don't speak wrong.
Corporate needs you to find the difference between this picture and this picture. What the hell? Stop.
Oh, that's what she claims she is in the when they first when they encounter her during the eclipse, and she says to Toph, "I'm actually a platypus bear, a purple platypus bear with wings and horns."
Okay. More memes. Capitalism shatters your soul, or shatters you soul. Bitch, please. Ghost Rider can destroy your soul. Okay.
Ravioli.
Ravioli. Do not lewd the cyber lily. Do lewd the cyber. Oh, she's one of those. All right. I gotta watch that show. What the hell's going on?
Suddenly.
A good meme. Sand.
Oh, it's what it sounds like.
That's good. Har. Beginning of the stream.
That was great.
Okay. Hairy bicep man? Or
Oh,
hairy pectoral man? Me when the trash music played on the title card? Yeah. Hope that didn't demonetize us. Anyway, do
it for her.
Dote for? I don't know.
Do it for her.
Where's the eye?
No, because it's the eye is covered by the her.
Oh, there it is. Okay, I see the eye. All right. How to talk to tall people? What's up? You need something? That's great. Oh boy. Pixar.
Sluxo Smasher.
Oh.
Oh, that's a mean one.
Har. There she is.
Squidward. Fucking.
Solar punk is just a genre for tree-hugging hippies. Changed my mind. You know, when I thought about that and she said that science fiction is about the problems of today, I immediately thought of Sunshine, the movie, where the sun literally goes out. And I'm thinking, wow, what a problem of today.
No.
The sun goes out.
No, solar punk, he's right. Solar punk. A jerk of fantasy for hippies who like technology.
You know, it would be ashamed if my foot accidentally slipped and the glass tipped over. Bye energy, I guess.
This
all
looks
because
like
of the solar dome.
This looks like Shadowrunner, or yeah,
it is Shadowrun.
Yeah, it's a great game. There's the Super Nintendo version, which is a really cool. It's a really cool box. But
it's surprising how many Shadowrun video games came out.
Well, yeah, but not within.
They're all quite under the radar.
Nick Cage.
Today I'm feeling.
Oh, what on the Genesis? On the Genesis game box, they just put a picture from the rule book. That's a colored image from the rule book.
Cool.
It's just black and white in the rule book.
The logo's way cooler. That looks really awesome. Anyway, Shadowrun. What I played, what I expected, Dungeons and Dragons, but Cyberpunk. What I got was all Hacker Man. Do you want some street magic? Street Samurai. Oh boy. The Matrix scene, okay. On a deep sea run, someone crit glitched a driving test. A Kraken showed up. What? All right, that's very specific references I don't get, but Shadowrun was great for PC. The first one. Even the second one was good too. Zuko going into an angst coma because he made the right decision. That moment when you make so many bad decisions in life that your body thinks it's a virus, when you finally do the right thing, he collapses. I want everyone to be equal. I want everyone to be free. I want everyone to be unified. I want everyone to be on fire.
Ozai made the most sense.
Definitely the most practical solution, yeah.
Yeah, the least tyrannical of all of these.
You hate Korra because of the technology shift. I hate Korra because she's bisexual. We are not the same. I think Korra is bad for many other reasons, but you can believe that. Radical kindness is how I describe fans of lo-fi music. Lo-fi music? What's lo-fi music?
It's horrible. Gives me headaches.
Go into any comment section of those videos, and everyone there is so saccharine, it's almost sickening. And I get the impression that people are just a bunch of Pollyannas. Well, if it's really like just chill music, I would imagine you'd be pretty chilled out. So
it's superficially chill, but there is something wrong with it. There's something disharmonious about it. Something discordant. And I can't really put my finger on.
They're not rebelling.
It's driving me crazy.
They're slavishly wasting their lives away, or they're comfortable with their lives and wish not to disrupt it and cause more problem with them. And she was making some weird points about living in a cyberpunk world. That's just like, they're stuck. It's like, how are they stuck? You mean cybernetically are they stuck? Are they morally stuck? Are they financially stuck? Like, what do you mean? Democracy is non-negotiable. Communism is the very definition of failure. Liberty Prime. This Russian is a true American. Liberty Prime. I miss Fallout 3. Oh. American Dad, I think. Is that the show?
Yeah.
Pen gun, mightier than the sword. Sword gun, mightier than the pen gun. AR-15, MK5, MAC-10, Paprika. What? Paprika? is that a
paprika is not that spicy. I don't know what kind of paprikas you get.
I thought that was a military term, but okay. You never know with these Americans. Before, you get a bat. After, you get that. Stella Luna let loose.
I don't get that.
Why Legend of Korra is better than Avatar? Okay, everyone just like that. Like tears in rain. Okay.
Zubat.
Oh, Pokemon.
Yeah, it
Zubat.
causes confusion. No, it
Cleansing-
just causes confusion.
Cleansing our worlds. Didn't you know? Okay, that was the big super chat. Thank you. The Reapers are. Oh, Donald speaking. Sorry. The Reapers are coming, and they're not sending their best. They're cleansing our people and turning them into husks. We need to build a catalyst and have them pay for it.
No, we need open borders. The Reapers just need radical empathy.
Oh, God. There's tons of mangas about American politicians. America Comics 2, even Obama thinks Miles is Miles and Peter is Spidey. Yeah, I imagine at that time there was lots of American comics about Obama. I just never knew about them. I didn't read comics from America then. Rebecca stands back. I'm beginning to choom. What?
He's going psycho.
Capitalism, hyper-capitalism, liberalism. No, it was neon liberalism, right?
Yes, neoliberalism.
Whatever the fuck that is. I've never heard of it.
Capitalism, hypercapitalism, neoliberalism, social Darwinism, punk movement, corpo celebrity. Define your terms, you dingbat.
Yeah, she used a lot of words that she didn't know the meaning of.
I almost said social dwarfism. Oh my God, Hermes, no.
Okay. They literally lose their soul and grip on reality when they get cyber implants. They go berserk. It's all capitalism's fault. So did Wolverine. That wasn't capitalism's fault. It was Canada's. And he got. I don't think Canada's that nefarious. We're just stupid. It was Canada's, and he got his humanity back thanks to the professor and Jean. What's your point? Yeah, I wouldn't blame the Canadian government. I don't know what branch of.
You could still be evil and be an idiot. Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure there's all kinds of nefarious offshoots of the military doing weird stuff. But I don't know. Canada's just incompetent in general. There's no. We couldn't think of anything this cool as the Wolverine. Oh, it's just like David and Goliath. Only this time David won. Thanks. Smudverine, I'm the best there is at what I do, and what I do is objectively observe and analyze video game plots on YouTube. You know, if I get a game that's worth analyzing, I'll do it, but I haven't had it. The last game I played, it was a Metroidvania, I think. I don't remember who gifted it to me, but
I'm sure the next Mass Effect is coming.
Oh, God, no. But the story was so bad. It was called, what the hell is it called? Paradox? No. Complex. Something complex. It was a side-scroller. The story is pretty much, hey, we met at a bar. Want to go spelunking with no gear? Sure. Oh, wow, there's an entire evil organization trying to take over America under this
Team
cave.
Rocket?
I can't remember what it was
Team
called.
Rocket.
That's the story. That's the whole story.
Yeah, so it's Team Rocket.
And it was, what's his name?
You're the best there ever was.
The voice actor who's in every video game. Nolan North voiced the main guy. It's so funny. It's like he's playing the guy from Uncharted with a gun, and he's just blowing stuff up in a side scroller and he's amassing a mech suit while he's killing people. It's hilarious. More. Their names have symbolism, such deep themes. Defender of traditional authorship. Okay. A blind lawyer and crime fighter. Really? Yeah, I know. Daredevil. I lived. She lived? That's good. What? Lucy's like, what? And there she is.
Yeah, I want to see that sequel.
The $6 million man. We can rebuild him. We have the technology.
Wait, whose hand is that?
I don't know.
That better not be the brother's hand. You don't know where that's been.
Top to bottom, left to right. Sasquatch, North Star, Snowbird, Shaman, Guardian, Marina, Aurora, and Puck. Yeah, that's Aurora. I remember Aurora. Captain, is that Captain? What is that guy's name? His name is Guardian? Really? That was Captain Canuck. All right. Smud joins Alpha Flight. No, thanks. Who the hell would we fight? There's no one to fight.
You want to put it where? Your deep dive port.
Oh. Reasons why we must gatekeep the cyberpunk genre. You know, there's no need to gatekeep cyberpunk. They can't get into it. They'll never learn it.
They already did.
There's
the new Shadowrun edition is contaminated.
Really?
Yes, that was 5 years ago, at least, if not more.
So here's Jessie Gender, or Jessie Earl, whatever the hell she calls herself these days.
Oh, fuck off.
I wonder why I even review shows like Cyberpunk Edgerunners, because I know 90% of the comments I get on it are just dude bros going, you dumb, you don't understand. The ladies were deep, because they are part of the team, without realizing how manic pixie damsel they are. I spend 75% of the video giving positive analysis, but heaven forbid I say I found the depiction of women either tropey or reductive. Okay, there's nothing wrong with being a trope. It's how it's done. Reductive could be good if it's simple and clear, like a damsel in distress is tropey and reductive. But if it works, who cares?
Rebecca's a surprisingly deep character.
Oh, so people liked Rebecca. Okay, good. I thought it was the opposite.
Yeah, well, it's she does have a thing for David, but she respects that he's not into her. But the relationship that develops between them is like that of very close siblings. Rebecca is the sister you want in your life.
Oh, that's nice. So
then there's the other one.
Here's Jesse again. As a trans woman, there are just shows that I honestly just know that I'm never going to be allowed to discuss with any depth without toxic dudes seeing me voice as inherently antagonistic because there has been no space made for women or queer folks. What does that even mean? Cyberpunk 2077 is one of them?
You're full of shit. Jesse, you're not a trans woman. You're a fetishist who poses his fetish as being trans. Cyberpunk is the place that is most accommodating to, 1, your fetish, 2, my medical condition. No, shut it.
Isn't Cyberpunk a board game, a video
You can
game?
modify your whole fucking body.
Yeah, there's so many avenues to play and watch and experience Cyberpunk 2077, so I don't understand what's stopping.
The game even has a fucking trans woman in it that fully transitioned and for some odd reason tells you all about it if you go through a quest line.
Oh, really?
Which is not what anyone would do who got through the transition and passes.
Okay.
Because real people don't want this. They want to leave it behind.
Diversity and unity. It is now accepted among historical scholars that in decades before the collapse, this is obviously the lore of Cyberpunk, America suffered from the sickness of racism and cultural identity. Everyone wanted to be seen as special. Every group had to be equal to, or preferably better than its neighbors, and fought to protect its special rights. If anyone had something that someone else wanted, they were painted as racist, sexist, elitist, or worse. This divisive me-first attitude eventually tore the fabric of American culture apart and caused it to self-destruct in a fireball of competing ideologies, none of which truly recognize each other's validity. Diversity led inexorably to anarchy. Wow. That's...
Smut, can I read this next meme?
Sure.
That's prophetic. That's what was that? 40 years ago?
This is where I watched my parents die. Melgar fungus. Non-radical. I hate Mondays, Doc. Jesus Christ, what did you do? What did you do to these characters?
I don't know what's going on at all.
Hybrid.
I don't know what's going on at all in this picture.
He's got fucking 3 chins. Or wait, no, 2 chins? Oh,
That's just a chungus.
Lucy the Lightbringer.
It's Milgar fungus.
Yes, it's Garfield.
Garfield chungus.
Did I miss a joke here? I'm the universe. What is this? I'm the Lightbringer.
Lightbringer. Does that mean Lucy runs away in the alleyway when a woman is, getting the snuggle struggle there? Yeah.
I don't know where that scene's from.
Oh, who wrote this? Linkara.
Linkara. Is that
Lucy? Because Lucy means the light bringer. So I assume it's like she sees something happening. It's like, I know where this is going, and then she proceeds to run away instead of help.
All right.
Well, have you considered that it is also the name of Lucifer, the light bringer? Therefore, she is temptation and manipulates the protagonist into sacrificing himself for her gain. Twist.
Oh my God! It's symbolic.
It's whatever you want it to be.
I don't want to live on the moon.
Doesn't understand words, doesn't understand human interaction, interprets shit completely wrong and randomly is a bat. Oh, okay. I figured it out. The dingbat's a Malkavian? No.
Hey,
no.
I find it insulting.
That's insulting the Malkavians.
Malkavians are autistic.
They're crazy. They're not stupid.
Yes, thank you. Malkavians also know what words mean.
Yeah, they hear
just
them
don't know
all.
what they're saying.
They hear them all the time. All right. I drank the chocolate milk mix. Oh, why would you do that?
That was not chocolate.
No, don't.
Who would win?
Don't
Atom Smasher versus Adam Smasher.
Yeah, that is the other pun.
Yeah. Ralph, I thought you were dead. Nope. How'd you beat Goliath, David? I threw a rock at him. Hey, one of my favorite games, Sid Meier's Alpha Centauri. Smud, what do you think a show based off SMAC would be like? It would be amazing because it's so easy to make. You have all these competing philosophies explained in full detail that you could even go further with. It would be brilliant. It would be absolutely like this is the next. What's the sci-fi on Amazon that everyone liked? That was
Expanse.
The Expanse. That was like imagine The Expanse, but it's all about one planet, and everyone's all like political maneuvering and resource gathering and RTSing, that sort of thing.
And without shitty Mary Sues and other crap.
Just people with ideologies. That'd be brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And you can go with one season. You'll talk about the religious fundamentalists. The next season you could talk about the Morganites, which are all capitalists. And then you can go into the Spartans. It'd just be fantastic. It'd be so much fun. The closest thing to a chicken cookie.
That's not a chicken cookie. That's a flattened chihuahua trying to reform.
What?
Me want cookies. Guys.
Mike.
You don't need cookies.
Where do you live?
Here we have Trump dancing. I don't know why, but thank you for that. Cry about it. Oh. Cole? What is happening? Just smashing through things? I don't know what's going on. Le Guin was born in Berkeley, California. Well, that explains a lot. Oh. I don't care where they're born. I care what they make, and she's an amazing writer. So, Memify. Donald Trump dances to Home Depot theme. Oh, well, we'll check that out later. First world problems. I don't even think this is a first world problem. This is just stupid people.
It's just dumb.
It's just My Coke fizzed too much when I poured it into my glass. I had to wait for the fizz to go down before I could continue pouring. What? When I pour beer, I want the fizz.
The level of her problem.
I want the head.
I think that's what this is to imply.
I don't know. I don't think she has a problem. I think she's trying to make a video that was popular, and she ran with it, and she didn't stop and think of what the hell she was saying because she didn't think at all. It was really bad. I was thinking of JFK. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Good. Not because they are easy, but because they are hard. There we go.
If only.
How do you like that, Obama? I pissed on the moon, you idiot.
How do you like that, Obama? I pissed on the moon, you idiot.
Okay. Remember me?
That's Bender.
Yeah, I know, but I'm trying to connect the dots, and I'm like, what?
It's about everyone wants to be remembered.
Oh. Wisp, they women ruined the green place. Me, where's Storm when you need her? Oh, see, I prefer Punk Storm. She looks way cooler in the future.
Why is she drawn as if she's from One Piece?
Well, not really.
Fucking bottom friend.
Lowly must stay. Cyberpunk Edge Runner's studio refused to remove the character. Yeah, good. And the last one, it's all a bunch of tree hugging hippie crap.
She was tastefully used in the show.
All right, guys. Did I miss some super chats? I think people are telling me. Uh-oh. Yes, I did miss some super chats. I apologize. 3 from Vladimir Dragunov. Wisp, you need to get half of your uniform out.
Of my what?
Half of your uniform out.
Oh,
you said about.
Should I tailor it together with the National People's Army from East Germany? So then you have one side with the happy windmill and the other side with the commie shit.
The windmill. Oh boy! Here's another one from Vladimir. Thank you, sir. You know the Aztecs weren't perfect, but they had some good ideas.
Did they?
Human sacrifice.
Everybody hated them. Everybody but that one tribe that profited from them hated them.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Contestus was the last bit that I would say prematurely led to the revolt.
Well, I'm not
the
sure.
The revolt would have happened anyway.
I'm not sure killing off your populace is a good way to have your crops grow. So
it Yeah, and it gets away those pesky people who don't vote for you.
Oh, right. Yeah. To quote Art, Red Dead Redemption 2, I love Civilization, flaws and all. That's good. Well, that was the makeup video because the first one was so bad. And then this ended up being, I think, even worse. But the first one was just fan fiction crap. So it's like, who wants to watch that, really?
Mm-hmm.
And the second one was just I probably know more about the show. I haven't even seen it yet.
But don't forget, the third season of Korra is totally awesome and perfect. We just need to completely rewrite it.
That was a weird take.
It's an okay season. That's why it's sandwiched between more shit.
Yeah, it's like saying, "Oh, this filet mignon was perfectly cooked, but it needed like 7 different things to make it even better." And I'm just like, "What are you talking about? Are you a chef?"
Aside from the cyanide laced in the fucking buns and patties, this burger's pretty all right. I can't even feel it.
Yeah, this dessert of milk, rice, and applesauce is totally perfect. You just need to get away of the milk, the rice, the applesauce, and replace it with a steak.
That's my kind of dinner, but yeah. Oi.
Dessert.
Steak is not dessert. What are you talking about? What is wrong with you? Crazy world you live in.
You eat the dessert after your main dish, steak.
I like the idea of having eggs in steak. That's pretty cool. Like, or eggs on your steak. That's kind of, or steak and eggs and steak.
This, of course, is nothing but
that's good. But I'm not
eggs
that
in the steak.
Yeah, I'm not that protein deprived that I would want more protein after my meal. That seems redundant.
Or just seconds.
No, 1 steak is all I need. I mean, if you're eating like a 4 ounce.
So you are a humble steak eater.
Well, you don't need that much beef. Like if you have like an 8 ouncer, that's pretty big. But I've seen people eat 36. Like that's like it's nothing. But it's like holy shit, how much protein? Like if I'm working out that day or that week, then great, I'll consume a large amount of protein, but not 36 ounces. That's too much. Plus how it's cooked and the seasoning, etc. Anyway, thank you guys. That was we were supposed to do one of those videos yesterday. We never got around to it, so we decided to do
double feature.
Yeah,
first ever Smud double feature.
How did it get so late?
Well, we started an hour. Oh, sorry, we started 15 minutes late, and then we just kept going with the second video. I wanted to stop. You guys wanted to go. Not my fault. So anyway,
we are just 4
hours straight. That was pretty crazy. So thank you so much for your time and all the crazy. I mean, you guys are throwing money at the screen. Do I have to like take you by the arm and teach you how to invest money?
No. Smud.
Yes.
What?
They have the super chats. They must.
I know, but even I think, did I ever take you and we did a stream talking about stocks and investing? Were you ever part of that?
I forget.
I know I did a bunch of people. I might have been Mike, but guys, if you're throwing that kind of money around, come talk to me. If you're not investing in anything, I'd be happy to teach you how to invest in whatever sectors you're interested in, or even ones you're not even into, because everyone should be investing. Anyone with a job, of course. If you don't have a job, then yeah, you need money. But if you do have a stable job, stable income, don't keep throwing it at me. Invest it in yourself, and then after you've invested it, with the dividends you get from that job, from that investment, then you could throw it at me. Then I'd feel a lot better.
Ask Smud all the dumbest kind of shit you could ask,
Yeah.
There you go.
Smud, before we do that, I have to buy new glasses so I don't get a headache by reading anything. And then we can do that. That's my investment.
Glasses. Okay.
Yes, new glasses. These ones are like 20 years old. They give me a headache when I have them on. It's horrible.
All right. Well, that's a good thing to buy. Yeah.
And they're all scratched up. It's like looking through mist all the time. And I wonder why is it so dirty in here? And it's not. It's just my glasses are old.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for your time. We will talk to you soon. Keep the suggestions coming and the recommendations going in the suggestion channel, and the voting going as well. Good night.